Hey, a lot of work put into this moment. A lot of work. Remember one thing today. You're not alone. You got 10 dudes around you that are going to lay it on the line for you. Do the same for them. Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
I'm crossing in the skirts. You know that I don't play. I will take you on a date. Yeah, I'm the 40 guys from never switching.
Ready to go.
I know this from the heart, cause you know that I'm a star. And it's all came from the heart. You were here when it was hard. I told the world.
Hey, gotta love this, man. Get to go out there and play some football, man. Have some fun, play for each other, or each other for the man next to you.
Hey, 60 minutes, play for one another.
Hey, man, this is a hell of an opportunity. What you willing to lay on the line? Ask yourself that.
Finish, grind, take a deep breath, and have some fun, okay?
What is up, guys? Yo, we got a special stream for you guys today. If you guys love Madden, you guys love football, we got a little bit of an opening stream for you here. Right now, your boy is playing in the Global Gaming League for T-Pain right now. It's a little tournament from shout out to Detroit Lions Gaming. You know, we got the usual on here. With our boy Dante back too. We got Dante, we got Tyler, we got Nero, we got Ben, we got Luke, and your boy. I'm Amari Scott. You already know how it goes. But let's do this stream real quick. Guys, how are we feeling? What do you think? It's a little bit of a Super Bowl rematch. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think's got this one? Both these teams been ass lately, you know? Both teams been ass lately.
I mean, since it's Madden, I'll take the Eagles, you know. More so because of Saquon Barkley. I don't give a fuck about Jalen Hurts, but Saquon Barkley's that guy on Madden.
Yes, sir.
Madden.
Yes, indeed, he is. Now, also with that being said, too, for those watching on Instagram, thank you guys. Shout out to you guys for watching on Instagram. This is a special stream. This man is paused that I'm playing against right now. I don't know what he's doing. But he could be fixing his depth chart, doing all that. So, you know, we'll let him fix his depth chart and do his thing. But let's get into this game. You know, I got my offensive and defensive coordinators here with me right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know if that's allowed, but you know, we're gonna find out. Open up with a little bit of zone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mahomes bitch ass. Oh yeah, let's go. Cooper the Gene, baby. Cooper the Gene.
Sir.
Cooper the Gene. But while the stream's going, guys, how'd you guys feel about this week? And give me your 2 favorite matchups of this week. Oh.
This is honestly not quite tough because it was a really good matchup this week. But I'll go Packers, Bears, honestly, and yesterday, Eagles, Chargers.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of turnovers in that game the other day.
Yeah, but still entertaining.
He was past the line. What? There's no way.
Damn.
Still that
He was past the
entertaining.
line. Oh my god.
And what about you, Uncle Tanner?
I would say Bears, Packers, but also Bengals, Bills. That was pretty good too.
Yeah, that was pretty good as well.
Yeah, a lot of points scored that game.
Exactly.
In the snow as well. So obviously that was pretty fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Dante, what's your 2? I'm assuming Bills, Bengals, and something else.
This is a surprise, but Titans Browns. I know this sounds like a toilet bowl, but there's actually like a lot of points. Shedeur Sanders was going off, and I mean I thought it was a good game between two like trash teams. Everybody thought it was gonna be just so bad, and then yeah, I'm gonna go Bengals Bills. There's like it was back and forth. It was anybody's game really. Those are my 2 favorite games.
Jordan, no.
Yeah, I would have to go with Bengals Bills. Again, a lot of points of the game changed pretty quickly. We kind of saw off 2 straight picks from Joe Burrow, but it was a high scoring game. I would also say I would also agree with Dante. I like the Titans Browns game. You saw a lot of youth. You saw Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Those guys will be the future of the NFL, especially Cam Ward being the number 1 pick. He showed some flashes. Shedeur Sanders showed flashes as well. You just, you see Kevin Stefanski kind of blow it at the end with taking Shedeur off the field. So we don't know what could have happened on that 2-point conversion. Truthfully,
The thing is, with that, we're gonna go back to this later eventually. But the thing on that play is that they had practiced this play, and they had who was it in the backfield? Judkins.
Quickshawn Judkins, yeah.
And they had practice in practice. He said it after the game, and he was like, "I'll." And Stefanski blamed himself after the game, by the way, for that play. So.
no, right, exactly.
Right.
But
Look-
even so, it's it's Shedeur Sanders, and I get that they want to do the Wildcat. I get that, but on certain plays, you got to keep your quarterback on the field,
especially at the end of the game like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Luke, 42 games. Did we? No. All right, Mario. About you. Did you say yours?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I really liked the game last night. As I said to you guys, it was probably my favorite game of the week. Honestly, it was just really a back and forth game. There wasn't really an upper hand at any point, I felt like. And a lot of the games that you saw this week, like, you got to look at Jalen Hurts right now and the conversation surrounding him and what he's potentially going to be capable of. So it's going to be a concerning thing going forward, especially for this Eagles team that is, returning champions. This is a team that, you want to see succeed, especially enough to a point because there's some of the favorite players on their team in the league. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to say Jalen Hurts because he's absolute fucking garbage. But now, at this point, it's kind of fucked up to say, but he's not beating he's not an elite quarterback allegations, bro. And I think at the toughest time right now where this team has faltered the last couple of weeks where they've needed to win the most for the most part, it's just sad to see that Jalen Hurts still is holding this offense back. You can blame it on Kevin Petullo all you want, but this is a situation we're looking at and it's getting bad. And I think that they need to figure out how to do something in this situation to actually make up for the fact that their quarterback is not an elite guy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like he's taking all the snaps, he's like calling all the shots, he's doing everything. So like really if you want to succeed, you have to have your quarterback to succeed. Like there's no denying that quarterback is like the most important position on the field.
Yep.
And it's just like people say he's top 5, Kevin Petullo this, Kevin Petullo that, but it's like he makes bad decisions. I would say though one of those picks was not his fault because he delivered like a decent pass to AJ Brown across the middle, and it was and AJ like dropped the ball and it was interception. So I don't think it was really that. I don't think that really his fault, but the other 2 or 3, whatever, were definitely his fault.
Yeah, no, I would honestly say besides the interceptions, AJ Brown has to be a better football player. There was a couple balls that he dropped yesterday, especially in overtime where he had the ball in his hand, but trying to go for a ball with one hand to make a spectacular catch. When you're a receiver and the game's on the line, you got to try to get both hands on the ball. You can't be trying to do flashy shit when you're trying to win a game. So, overall, when you look at it, it was a collective effort. Everybody in a sense is held accountable. But I tell you, those 4 picks, especially every pick that Jalen Hurts threw, it hurt him a lot. It did. So that's 3 straight losses. And now you're kind of just, for the Eagles, they're just really in must-win mode now to kind of just hold on to the division.
Yeah. And, you look at it this way too, like it's pretty telling that Justin Herbert's also just the guy over there. And, there's been a lot of question marks swirling around him. What the question is he really the guy? I don't know why that was ever a question mark. This team has been banged up all season. And oddly enough, you are seeing a very, very good John Harbaugh in terms of coaching. This Los Angeles Chargers defense is one of the best defenses so far in the league right now. They've climbed their way up in the ranks for passing. They've climbed their way up in the ranks for rushing. And, this defense just continues to get better week in, week out. And you look at this situation and you ask yourself, is this Chargers team legit if they can get everybody back for the playoffs? And, obviously this is the first game we're discussing right now, but, I think that this game is definitely a game that I look at this game and it is not, give me that shit, little nigga. Give me that shit. Let's go. I needed that. You look at this game and you ask yourself, like, is it a game where Justin Herbert really showed with a broken hand and everything else? Can this guy continuously be a top 5 quarterback? Me, I think so. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I think the guy could be a top 5 quarterback consistently. He could even be the best quarterback in the league if he gets the right amount of help. So, you want to see him get the help that he definitely deserves. And I think that, this is a sad situation overall for him a couple of times. And this year, he's not making it about being sad or whatever the case may be. This guy's just going out there and balling out every week.
Yeah, I mean, what was I about to say? And like the one criticism, like what criticized Justin Herbert the most is he can't perform in the playoffs. He choked like a huge lead against the Jaguars a few years ago, and then he lost to I think it was the 7th seed Texans just last
Mhm.
year, and he lost, and his defense gave up like 30 points, and that's like the main criticism. But like if he can just somewhat perform in the playoffs and just get like 1 or 2 wins, maybe this upcoming season, if they make the playoffs, which they're likely to do so, I think this is going to be like a really good Chargers team in the future. Because like they got Ladd McConkey, who's like super young. I know Quinn Johnson's also not old. I know Keenan Allen's pretty old. Quinn, who's the running back? Amari Hampton. He's pretty nice,
Mhm.
and he's a rookie.
Gazdon
So
as
this
well.
is a young team that you really don't want to see like in the future, and that could be nasty for a while.
Right.
No,
And
even
there's Gazdon as well. So.
exactly. And even now thinking about it, like when it comes to next year, Najee Harris is still on the team. I think Najee Harris won't have a job next year with the Chargers. I think Kamani Vidal has proven that going into next year with him and Hampton as the 1-2 punch,
Yep.
I think both of them. I think Kamani Vidal is going to still be productive, but it's just going to open more doors for Omari and Hampton, and even the Chargers in general, because now you got to prepare for 2 running backs who have the capability of, if they're hot or when they need to be used, that they're gonna do what they got to do. So I tell you, this Chargers team for the future is set up for success, and I'm glad that Quentin Johnson now is finally being a receiver that actually catches passes and worked on his drops, because the year that he's had this year when healthy, I tell you, him and Ladd McConkey, that's going to be a nice duo, and Trey Harris as a third receiver for some years to come if they all stay together.
Absolutely.
Like that Hampton, if you do like Hampton Vidal duo, that Loki reminds me. I don't know if I'm stretching it too far. That Loki reminds me of like Gibbs Montgomery. Because Gibbs is like Vidal is like small and fast, but Hampton is not like the biggest body either, but he's physical. So just like Montgomery.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that Najee Harris take is great. A guy who's most likely not going to have a job this upcoming season. Not really a guy who I never really was high on him at all when it came to coming out of college. I never really was high on him at all when he was at Bama. It's just I don't think he's that explosive. I think, he was a product of a very, very good Alabama team constantly. And you look at the situation too. Is this a guy? Pick the ball. Oh my gosh. Is this a guy that you can constantly say is going to be a serviceable running back? I don't know. At times he doesn't look serviceable. And it's a question mark kind of thing, and I just hope, he does figure it out. I don't wish bad upon anybody whatsoever, but you want this to be a situation where he can legitimately continue to be an NFL player. And I don't think he's continuously been an NFL player.
No, I agree. I agree with that. It's also kind of like you kind of look at how Najee Harris kind of panned out this year before he, I think it was an Achilles injury that he had early on in the season. It's all like his production was kind of almost similar to Gus Edwards when he got there to LA last year. That we all thought that, or a good amount of us probably thought that. Okay, no, he was in Baltimore. He goes back. He goes, with the other Harbaugh, with Greg Roman, and he'll be productive. And a lot of the games last year, it was duds. And even so, he wasn't getting a lot of carries. And when Najee was out there, he got some carries, but you could just see immediately that Hampton was the guy real quick, and once he got hurt in Kamani Vidal, he finally got a chance. It's like, okay, well, yeah, this guy coming in the next year, he'll probably still be on the team, but he'll probably end up being a third running back. And knowing them, they're not going to keep a third running back of his caliber with the money that he's making on the team just because he's just taking up caps. So if they release him, I don't even like you said, I don't even know if he's going to have another job. I think,
Right.
And if he does have another job, great, but he's not going to be a starting running back. He'll definitely be a number 2, maybe even a number 3, wherever else he goes. But yeah, his time in the NFL is sooner rather than later will be over. Truthfully.
I can't even think of a team out of the top of my head that could have him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because he wouldn't be worth any of that whatsoever.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Right.
just he's not even worth any of that. And I think that I don't want to say it's it for him, but it's not looking the greatest of situations. It really isn't.
No, it's not. I mean, maybe the team like the Commanders could take a chance on him, but I doubt it. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Ben and the guy who's just talking, like that's on the screen right now, I can't hear either of them. I heard it for like a second, and then it just like it's just quiet. I can only hear like Amari right now. I was able to hear Ben before, but then his just cut out.
Okay, because I mute my mic all the time.
So I don't know. I think it's my part because Amari can hear you, but I can't. I don't know what's happening.
It might be. I'm not sure. I can hear you. I can hear everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything should be straight on this end. Dante, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You might have to figure that out.
All right, let's jump into these game, brothers.
Absolutely.
The first game, we'll go back all the way to Thursday night last week.
Yeah. Okay. No.
With Cowboys Lions.
All right, we're good now.
This game was just a Jahmyr Gibbs show, literally.
No, it was. I mean,
yeah.
Now he's tied with Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns in the first. Well, his 47 touchdowns in the first 3 years. So
before age 24, he has 4 games left.
Exactly. So yeah, he's definitely going to break that. But I tell you, Jahmyr Gibbs is a special player, and obviously the Lions got a great win. Now they're still in it. They're not obviously right. If the season ended right now, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. But there's still time. If Jahmyr Gibbs can continue being Jahmyr Gibbs and Jared Goff can continue to play the level he's playing without turning the ball over, they'll still have a shot. They just gotta hope and pray that some of the other teams that they're playing against and even going against just somehow dud and lose. But if I would bet my money on the Lions, man, I mean, until the end, until they're not in it, hey, they still got a shot. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this Cowboys team, they fought, scratched, clawed their way back at this point, but that was a game they needed to win. The defense at the end of the day, like we've always said, has kind of been the downfall. And oh my God. And there's not much that this Cowboys team is going to be able to do. And Dak Prescott is playing like an MVP, and there's nothing that they can do at this point. Like I just don't see it happening. I can't see it happening. And I don't even think that even if it did happen, who are they going to beat? They're not going to beat the Bears. They're not going to beat the Packers. And they're clearly not going to beat the Lions. They're certainly not beating the Rams. That's for fucking sure, too. So it's just like, you kind of look at the situation and you ask yourself, is this Cowboys team, are they going to pay George Pickens? They probably won't. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think they
probably
could.
Won't.
When they traded away Micah, they saved themselves so much money. So, I mean, I feel like they have to at this point.
Not for his asking price. It's not going to happen after the seasons he's having. Mm-hmm. You CeeDee Lamb just got paid. Remember, you traded, but you got Quinnen Williams in return, who does not have a light contract. So
he has another 2 years, I think, on his deal.
And he got paid when he was in New York. So, like,
right.
It's a weird situation. And, you hope that they can figure it out, because clearly Pickens and Lamb together can get it done. It's just the defense. You're going to have to pay on that end more so than you're going to have to pay George Pickens. You pay George Pickens, and I don't know what you're going to do on the defensive end at that point. Pickens is a hefty price tag.
Right.
The Lions redeem themselves, against a team that's been winning a couple games, at least, over the course of these last few weeks. And, it's a good bounce back for the Lions. It's a horrible regression for the Cowboys going forward in this playoff race.
Indeed. Yeah, no, it's just at times, especially with the rushing.
I feel like that's reasonable. Like, there's so many good teams in the NFC right now. It's a bloodbath, to say the least. And I think the Cowboys could maybe possibly beat somebody like in an upset, but this team has not been super successful in the playoffs because I've watched. They have not been successful, unfortunately. And I mean, maybe Dak switches up his game and he just plays extra hard to the point where they could win by a couple of points because it's 99 offense, 0 defense. It's just, I mean, the defense has looked better, and then against the Lions, I feel like it kind of just couldn't keep up. Oh yeah, give me that shit. Um, and I don't know, they're just gonna have to do something with that defense. Maybe make a couple arrangements. Maybe get somebody in free agency that could help. I mean, there's probably not a lot, but just anybody, just a change would be nice. I like how they played confidently in the past 2 weeks against the Chiefs and the Eagles. I like that. I like how they looked. It's just they need to play more aggressive, and I just don't know how I feel about Matt Eberflus up to this point.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure Eberflus would necessarily be the issue. I think it would be more so, you know, Eberflus wouldn't be I don't think he's the problem. I think it's really just the fact that there's really no Trevon Diggs. There's really no studs. You got Deron Bland, but there's really no
Teach.
studs. There's just guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Mm,
really all it is. And, not even to be rude, but that's just the truth. There's just a
yeah,
couple
I'll
guys
accept
on the
that.
team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like
Oh my
without
goodness, he's wide the fuck open.
without not even having a guy like a real edge rusher, like somebody to really set the edge. It's
Mhm.
hurt. It's hurt him. Like you look back on this Parson deal, like he's in Green Bay and he's still Micah Parsons. We see it week in and week out what he brings to the table.
Right.
Not relying on a guy like Donovan Azaraku, who's shown some flashes, but he's not Micah Parsons. He's not a guy. He's not there yet.
Right.
And everybody else that they're relying on, even Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney has been the same player for about 5-6 years now. So.
Yep.
You're not getting anything out of it. And when Quinn and Williams can't get anything going, Osa Digizua, Kenny Clark, then if there's no pressure, you're either going to get run on or it's going to be a lot easier to make plays in the passing game. So,
Right.
naturally with them, having the record that they're having, it's really the offense that has kept it going. But if you don't have a defense, you're not going anywhere. And even if they get to the playoffs, hypothetically, they're gonna get killed. They're gonna get killed. I mean, we've seen it countless times that they've gotten to the playoffs, and especially back in 21 when Jordan Love beat them in Dallas. There was no defense played. So if you can't have a defense, I mean, shit, you're kind of just, what's the word I want to say? You're settling for to end up having failure. So
This game is fucking horrible. Dude, you guys don't even want to know what just happened.
Tyler, I want to hear you on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say about the Cowboys in this one. I really wanted to give Jameson Williams some credit, though, from the Lions, because I really like what we've seen out of him these last two games. Because in Green Bay, when Amon-Ra went down, he kind of had to shift his role from being that big play wide receiver 2 into being more of a guy that Jared Goff can rely on as a wide receiver 1 in that one. And then also in this past game against the Cowboys, he had like 9 targets for like 96 yards, and that was with Amon-Ra playing. So, and earlier in the season, there would be times where he would have like only 1 target in the entire game. He would just be non-existent. So I like the way that he's got himself more involved in the offense these last 2 weeks.
He had 7 receptions for 96 yards on 9 targets, and they had I'm gonna run on 9 targets as well.
Yep.
That shows you like the difference here. Like it's not that far apart now.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, to go on to the next game, move off to Sunday. I mean, this is not going to be a long one, is it? Seahawks Falcons.
Yeah. Yep, that's not a. I tell you, man, the Falcons, man, they're just preparing for next year. It's you've another wasted year by them, but also wasting Bijan's talents. Drake London's hurt. Kyle Pitts hasn't been Kyle Pitts since his rookie year. So, it's you're just preparing for next year, and the Seahawks team, against an inferior team, they're just going to do their thing. And Jackson Smith-Njigba is a guy that, at one point we thought he was going to win the Triple Crown. It's kind of died down a little bit based off the last couple games, but he's a star. And right now he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL at the moment. So can't go wrong.
Funny enough, about Kyle Pitts, that was his second best game of the year.
There you go. See,
his best one's probably 5 receptions, 5 targets, 70 yards, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was 6 for 1090. So like, it tells you. Tyler?
I'm telling you.
Tyler?
You say me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I mean, I don't have too much thought about this game. I mean, Seahawks handled business as I expected them to. And, I mean, the Falcons, they're just a disaster still. So, I mean, I don't really have too much to say. I really was hoping that JSN could get 2,000 receiving yards. I don't know if we'll get that now because I think he needs to average like 150, like almost a game to get there or something like that. So, probably won't happen, but yeah, they're still playing really, really good. I think their defense is probably top 3 in the league.
Yeah, I can check real quick. Because, like, how many yards is that now? 1-4. He's at 1-4. He's projected 1-8.
Yeah, because they have 4 games left.
That's gonna be tough.
Honestly, if he can have one of these games that he hits at least at 200 or even just a little bit over 200 yards, he might still have a shot. But even so, I mean, if he projected at 1-8, I mean, shit, that's still a great year. That's an all-pro year right there. So
right,
yeah, and
his best game this year is 1-6. It was 167.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that twice.
Exactly.
So it's definitely possible. Amar?
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks ran away with this game. I mean, what else can you really say other than the Seahawks team has looked dominant against another team they should beat? They did have a couple games, obviously, here along the way where you feel a little bit indifferent about him. You feel a little bit indifferent about Sam Darnold, which is rightfully so. Sam Darnold went 14-3 last year on probably what I think is definitely a worse team, in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had Justin Jefferson. Yeah, that's cool, right? But at the same time, I just don't think at all this team is worse than the Vikings team he had. And, he should be right where he was last year with the Vikings, especially on a better team with, I'm not going to say a better defense because last year that Vikings defense was one of the best in the league. Brian Flores really took the reins on that defense and he really changed the defense. So, I just think that there's a lot of these situations you look at with the Seahawks in some of these games and, you question if this Seahawks team can continually make plays. And can they continually go out there and win games against good teams and look great for 4 quarters? Sam Darnold has yet to do that. And I think that that's going to be a big factor in moving forward on whether or not he can continuously look great in some of these games against good teams. The Falcons aren't a team that should scare anybody at this point in the season. You should be able to beat a Falcons team that obviously has no business being where they are, to be honest with you. Even so, I don't think they should be this bad, but injuries, quarterback who's a first-year guy, it's tough to kind of gauge that situation and see where that situation is going to go. So, I hope that this works out for the Seahawks going forward against good teams, but this game doesn't really move me.
That's fair. I'm kind of eating at the same time.
No, you're good. You're good.
To
get my ass whooped, so
yeah. To go on to the next game, might as well. My team, the Ravens got fucking not destroyed, but dominated, I should say.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was. I'll tell you, it was one of. This is a game right here that the Ravens could have won, and it's one of those things that if they just had a couple plays, go differently, it would have been better. But I'm not gonna lie, that Isaiah Likely scored.
Yep.
Isaiah Likely scored that touchdown. I don't know. He got 2 feet in back. He got 2 feet. He was in the end zone. He took 2 steps. He took a 3rd step. Already in the end zone. That's a touchdown. If the ball
not a football move, by the way.
Exactly. Like that's a touchdown. Even if the ball got knocked out, he took 3 steps. He's already in. You already had a signal as he's in there. Touchdown. That should have counted. So they got
that would have won. And that would have won the game.
And that would have won the game. But also, it's tough for Lamar Jackson to throw a pick to his cousin. That hurt him.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
That sucked. That sucked right there. Getting picked off by your cousin. Yeah, he's not going to hear the end of that. I already know it, but yeah,
Things are about to be fun next year.
No, for sure. Now let's see what happens next week. I mean, another rematch against Cincinnati, but now their Ravens season's on life support. They got to try to manage to win these games now more than ever.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Baltimore the rest of the year. I know they still play each other in Week 18, but it just feels like I mean, really, both of these teams don't really. I don't think they really strike too much fear into opponents in the playoffs. So whatever team ends up making it, I don't know how far they'll go. But it was cool to see for Baltimore, for Lamar to get Zay Flowers more involved. That was really, really cool. And then for Pittsburgh, DK Metcalf finally had a big-time game. And the fact that they were able to win the game with Aaron Rodgers and the rushing offense only had 34 yards for Pittsburgh, and Aaron Rodgers was able to get them the win. I thought that was pretty impressive and maybe a little bit overlooked. The fact that the run game was pretty much non-existent, and he was able to will them to the W.
Indeed.
For once, the Ravens was able to recover the run. That doesn't happen often. If you look at the stats, the Ravens have been terrible against the run this year.
Yeah.
Like since the bye, the defense has been pretty good against that. At this point, I don't even think the division is gonna go to Week 18. It's gonna be.
You don't think so?
No, the Ravens play not Baltimore. But the Packers and the Pats. They're back-to-back weeks.
Oh, yeah.
16-17. That's not happening. Because I think it's Bengals. Pats, Packers, Steelers. So that's just if we lose just one of these games, it's not happening.
I mean, yeah, it was just a really, really rough start to the season for you guys.
Yeah.
No, I tell you that Week 1 game, I tell you that changed the whole outlook of the season. It did. It really did. Because that I tell you, and even kind of looking at this Ravens season, the first few weeks, Derrick Henry, you could tell also that like him not being able to hold on to the ball, fumbling in the first 3 games, like he kind of lost confidence in himself. Now he's looked a lot better, but I tell you, they really just the offense as a whole at times, they just can't get nothing going. And the fact that Zay Flowers hasn't scored since Week 1 kind of also tells you like, yeah, it hasn't. A lot of this whole season kind of has just been a rut, and losing Nnamdi Madubuike also to possibly, a career-ending injury that it's hurt them, especially in the forefront of the defense on the defensive line.
This man might already be retired.
Yeah, exactly. And that's tough because he's played well the last couple of years, and that losing him, you lose a somewhat of a foundation on your defense. A lot of guys being hurt throughout the year too. So it's been injury riddled, but they're still in it. They just got to find ways to win, especially now.
It's not easy matchups.
It's not, no.
At all.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen, I'm trying to find it back, but I can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
Zay Flowers is the most receiving yards by a fucking mile.
That's crazy.
It's like 500.
Yeah.
And the next one is Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Well, it's not like
it's not surprising.
It's not like there's much anyone can do when Lamar is visibly hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just clearly hurt, and it's a hamstring injury. So for anybody who doesn't understand hamstring injuries, bro, that shit does not go away. Look at what happened to James Harden, correct? I know there's a lot more running involved in basketball up and down the floor, but look what happened to James Harden. He's never been the same since that hamstring injury in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And for a guy like Lamar who runs a lot of the time, that's going to hinder you for the rest of the season, especially if you're playing on it. And he was rushed back. I remember there was a whole report too about them questioning about him being on the injury report and all this other stuff. And I don't think that should have been a question. If he really was just being like, oh, just to say I'm hurt, just to say for the fuck of it, like, okay, then that's one thing. But knowing Lamar Jackson's character at least enough to the point and what we've seen, that obviously doesn't really seem like the case. So for me, it's an interesting situation that, a lot of people, they're not going to understand because it's like, oh, these players play through these injuries all the time. And this is a normal thing. And it's just a hamstring injury, dog. And for a running quarterback, that's going to hinder you for the rest of the season. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you stand in the pocket or whatever the case may be. A hamstring is no joke. And, he's doing everything he can, but he's not getting much help either. And I don't think I don't think. Did I say? I almost said Jim Harbaugh. I don't think John Harbaugh deserves a job. He should have lost his job 2 seasons ago.
Mhm.
He,
Yeah, we've been
he's,
saying
he-
that.
you know, they've been riding off that Super Bowl for him for what at this point? How
About
long? It's been fucking 12
like
years,
12 years.
12
13
years. Yeah.
years.
Hmm.
You know, like we can't keep doing this where we're giving John Harbaugh an excuse for some shit he won with Joe Flacco and an extremely elite defense and Jacoby Jones and a great special teams. You know, Flacco wasn't the end all be all to that whole situation. Lamar Jackson is your end all be all. You're going to lose your job because this man has not been in the Super Bowl yet. That's an issue.
Hmm.
Really is.
It's an issue. And, you know, you hope to see that this situation doesn't become an issue. You hope to see that this situation can be fixed. And I'm not sure if it can be fixed this season. Joe Burrow just came back. I know they just lost to the Bills, but, you know, it's his first game back and he threw what? It was like how many yards?
284 with 4 touchdowns.
Yep. Like, you know what I mean? Like Joe Burrow clearly looks like his old self. There was a couple throws clearly that you saw that we were like, oh shit, okay, bro hasn't been here in a minute. But like, other than that, like for the most part, he was all the way there, and it was in the snow in Buffalo. You know, you take that not with a grain of salt, but you know, it's it's a situation where you know not a lot of teams go out there and beat Buffalo
Right.
in their own building in the snow. So. You know, I pray for Joe Burrow. I hope he eventually makes his way back, you know, fully this upcoming week. And you know, Jalen Hurts sucks. I don't know why I chose the Eagles. This shit sucks. Yeah, fucking. But at the same time, you know, I think that this is also a situation where you're looking at this playoff race and the Steelers too. Like you can't really count them out just due to the veteranship on this team. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The veteranship's there, and you know, this is a team you can't count out for the rest of the season. And you know, I really respect the fact that Aaron Rodgers is still going out there doing the most that he can to help this team win week in, week out. And you know, hopefully we get to see a Unk Bowl next week. What is it, Steelers Colts next week, or am I mistaken?
I think it's Seahawks Colts next week.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Okay, Seahawks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
But
Seahawks also.
But if the Colts make the playoffs and the Steelers make the playoffs, hopefully we can see an Unk Bowl just for the nostalgia. You know,
Mhm.
you guys aren't as old as me and Nero are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is our childhood. Philip Rivers
Yep.
is coming back. Like,
Mhm.
you know, we love the young guys, but the young guys are a little soft. You know what I mean? You know, I can't wait to hopefully see that a potential Unk Bowl, and it would be cool if you know Rodgers could go vintage, you know, and lead this Steelers team to the playoffs. And Jalen Ramsey himself, they had him playing safety a lot this season because he's lost a step.
Right.
You know, Darius Slay is out of there. They cut him. You know, it's a weird situation in Pittsburgh, but you genuinely just can't count them out. TJ Watt's still a monster. You know, you genuinely just can't count this team out as far
Right.
as just winning these playoff games. And remember, Steelers already beat the Pats too. So, you know, that's not a guaranteed win in the eyes of the Patriots. You know, the Steelers was an experienced enough team, and they've gone against Josh McDaniels did go up against them enough. And this is a whole different defense with whole different players on it. But Josh McDaniels, you know, went up against this team and lost already. You know, I think that was the Patriots' lowest scoring game of the season, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. I think they only scored 14 points. So that's a matchup. You know, the Patriots probably need to get this by. I'm not gonna lie to
Right.
you.
Mhm.
Just because, you know, you look at the Steelers team, and if the Bengals win out and somehow make it in, this who knows if that pass defense is gonna hold up. T. Higgins is back. Jamar Chase is still Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow is here now. It's not Joe Flacco or Jake Browning.
Right.
You know, so you know, you look at some of these matchups, and this is honestly the best NFL season since 2022. Honestly.
Mhm.
And you look at this AFC race and this NFC race, there's so much parity in the league right now. So, you know, the Ravens and the Steelers, they still have a shot. But this was an important game for the Ravens to win. And honestly, I was rooting for the Ravens, but I just knew the Steelers were going to win this game.
Mhm.
I was rooting for the Ravens. I really wanted them to pull it out. But as
Same
long
here.
as Lamar is dealing with that hamstring injury, man, it's not going to happen, dude. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
Like I found the stats. It's voice of average is 550. Zay Flowers an 891 and Marquez at 241.
But
That's how bad
you know,
it is.
your line's also banged up too, though, bro.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah, it
like
really
you know,
is.
like it's asking a lot of this Ravens team to do what they were supposed to do this year, especially after losing that first game to the Bills. That did not help either. Losing that first game to the Bills did not help whatsoever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see that game.
Indeed.
But I just got my ass whooped 39-6. You
Damn.
know? Well, Jalen Hurts sucks. There's not much I could do. Nigga threw like 5 picks. AJ Brown was open almost on every throw I threw. But you know, we'll get to the Chiefs in a minute. Ben, we'll probably start from the top here. But Ben, yeah, you can continue from whatever the next game is, though. I'll stop sharing.
The game is really perfect for you because you've been praising this guy. Titans Browns.
Oh, wait, we're gonna have to save this one because I got filmed for this. We're gonna have to save this
Okay,
one.
that's fine.
Let's save this one. We'll save this one for a little bit towards the end, like the Texans and the Chiefs. We'll probably do those two last. So skip those two for now. Give me 2 seconds too. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, well, if you don't do that one, then the next one is Colts Jaguars.
Oh yes, you wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah, I do want it about the Colts, but after we talk about the game itself, that's honestly, I did predict the Jags to win this game, but I didn't think it would be double the score. Not at all. But I also didn't expect Daniel Jones to go down. Yeah.
No, same. Yeah, no, I had the Colts winning, but I thought this would be more of a game that at least Jonathan Taylor could take, can kind of have that takeover game that he's shown throughout the year, especially, in London against the Falcons and whatnot. Like a game like that, not necessarily over 200 something yards, but at least, 100 something yards and maybe 2-3 touchdowns. But he was basically neutralized all game. And with Daniel Jones getting hurt, that obviously that changed the game for them a whole lot. I mean, Riley Leonard went out there and did what he had to do, showed some flashes, but ultimately, yeah, this Colts team right now, especially losing 4 straight, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And now they signed Phillip Rivers. He hasn't played a game in almost 5 years. So it's a little bit tough on the Colts part right now. They're going to have to use Jonathan Taylor a whole lot more than what they've already used him. And shit, you don't want to see Tyler Warren line up at quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
You've seen that too.
Yeah, so
You've seen it too.
Yeah,
you don't want that at all. Because
exactly.
I don't think you have another tight end behind him.
No, for sure. But now the Jags are set up right now. It's the Jags division to lose, truthfully. So
yeah, literally.
Yeah. So other than that, no, the Jags played a great game. They got a lot more. There's a lot more football to be played. But the Jags right now, the Jaguars should take that division.
Jacoby Myers has been a real great ad for them.
Indeed, yes.
He really has been.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler?
Yeah, I was really excited to see how the Colts would finish this year just because of how good they started the year. I always like it when more teams are good, and they were a big surprise. But now it just seems like every week something goes wrong. Like they've lost 4 out of their last 5. Now they lost their quarterback, and their backup's hurt now, so now they have to bring in Phillip Rivers or whoever they end up going with. But I did take the Jags in this one because the Colts, they don't usually win in Jacksonville if you go back and look at like the history. But I didn't think it would be this, big of a score difference. But I really do like the job that Liam Cohen's did with Jacksonville. They mentioned on the broadcast that earlier in the year, he was, like at the start of the season, he was more involved with the defensive groups, like in practice. And, he was more involved with the defense to start the year. And then like mid-season, he made the shift to be in the offensive, to be more focused on the offensive side of things, and he let the defensive coordinator he trusted him to handle the defense. And ever since then, their offense has been way better.
Yeah, the switch has been
right. Yeah. Jacoby Myers has been so good for them. Bretton Strange, he didn't have like a crazy game, but like we talked about before last week's pod, his blocking and he's a very good tight end. He has a lot of potential. And this team doesn't even have Travis Hunter, so once they get him back, their offense is going to be really, really good. And then Etienne, their running back, he had 2 touchdown games, so he did pretty good too. And Trevor Lawrence, he has his moments where he doesn't look good, but he also has his games where he looks pretty good, and I thought he looked pretty good in this one. But yeah, this is it's going to be a tight race to see how Jacksonville and Houston end up closing out the year. I don't know if the Colts are going to be able to stick with them two anymore now that they don't have the quarterback, but
Right.
But yeah, Jacksonville definitely looks good. I think they look like a top 10 team right now.
I like that take. Absolutely.
No, me too. Yeah, no, I tell you, it's again with Jacksonville also, like with a guy like Liam Cohen, especially what he did last year with Baker Mayfield in Tampa. He's a Sean McVay guy, so I believe he was around when they won the Super Bowl in 21. Like this is a guy that, and he has obviously he's a former UMass quarterback, so he got ties to Massachusetts. This is a guy that everywhere that he's been, you've seen some form of success, especially when he went back to the college ranks and Will Levis had the season that he had with him as an OC. It's everywhere he goes, his teams are very productive with his tutelage, whether now he as a head coach and even just as an offensive coordinator. This guy knows how to call plays and draw up an offense. Like you said, Ben, the change in the mid season has it's benefited Trevor Lawrence, but adding a guy like Jacoby Myers, a receiver that is a possession receiver, he gets open, he makes tough catches. That is what they've needed, because obviously Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't had the season that we would have thought he would have to take that year two leap, I should say. But having a guy like Myers, having Brenton Strange finally healthy, I mean, I feel like now the offense has just scratched the surface. There's still more games to be played. Travis Etienne has had a great year. If they just keep gelling and just keep playing the way that they're going to be playing, I tell you, this is a team that could somehow, some way start off and win a playoff game,
Yeah.
I agree. And like I said, once they get Travis Hunter back, it's going to be big for them. And then they still have Brian Thomas, like we talked about Jacoby Myers. Their offensive weapons are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And the thing is, Brian Thomas didn't even do bad at this game. Yet with 3 receptions and 6 targets, 87 yards. Like that's 29 yards on average. Catches. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not soft by any means.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen the highlights, but like 2 of those 3 catches that he had were pretty nasty catches, pretty tough catches that he had to make.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Yeah, I mean, this Jaguars team is a team that's getting hot at the right moment. They're doing the best that they can to stay in this race, and they're doing everything they can. They're playing great, and they got a banged up Colts team to go to the next couple of weeks. Their schedule is very favorable, enough to a point where I feel like this schedule is so favorable for them, like they could win out. And I'm glad Tyler and Ben, you guys brought up the point of switching, the coaches in certain positions and areas within the staff. That really did change this team around, and I think that this Colts team bringing in a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is not going to be the best of options. I would have rather Taylor Heineke, in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just younger, he can get out there with his legs sometimes. He might make some crazy throws sometimes, but we saw what he's capable of at his best.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is going to be the best of options here. You hope that Riley Leonard can come and play this upcoming week, but it's it's a questionable situation over there in Indianapolis where they might lose out, and who knows what could happen, honestly, if they lose out.
Exactly.
But you guys made some amazing points. Absolutely. On to the next game. Commanders and the Vikings. I mean, dude, honestly, what is there to talk about? Like, honestly, it's just a straight blowout.
This game was so bad.
Just good old NFL ass whooping. Like
the game was so bad.
Analysis.
The game was so bad that it finished before 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's
how bad it was.
That's tough.
And hopefully it's a redeeming point for JJ McCarthy for the rest of the season with this trash ass Vikings team. On offense, at least I should say. He started calling himself 9, and then ever since he's been a 0. So
yeah.
It's it's the Commanders. I'm glad he's redeemed himself against a shitty team. That's what you need in terms of confidence to go into some of these next games. And they're not out the race, man. Who knows what's going on with the Buccaneers? Who knows what's going on with the Panthers, man? The Vikings are not out of it. So I don't have much to say about this game other than good old-fashioned ass whooping. Shout out JJ McCarthy. Justin Jefferson looked a little happier. He might not be a Patriot if the Vikings continue to play well, but if so, I think the Patriots might, they might get Justin Jefferson next season.
Yeah.
Don't rule that shit out. Honestly, if the Eagles season keeps going the way it does and the Viking season keeps going the way it does after this game, these weeks, yo, you're gonna see AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson in a Patriots jersey. I promise y'all that.
Oh, for sure.
Both.
Yeah, the draft pick that the Pats have, especially if the season ended right now, it's at the end of the first round. So that's a perfect place right there to trade that pick, especially for one of those guys for sure. But I tell you, I didn't watch this game either. I looked at some highlights, but honestly, for Commanders wise, how it's been, I probably would have just sat Jaden Daniels. Also, like, you know, that regardless, not to say that he shouldn't be playing, but also with the injury that he had, the way how the season's going, you know, like at this point, now that they're out of it, we might see a lot more Marcus Mariota than we already have. So, you know, it was just a dud overall. You know, tough year by the Commanders, a lot of injuries. You know, let's see what happens next year, because yeah, this year ain't it.
Yeah, emanated from the playoff and everything. So
yeah.
Yep. Tyler, I mean, not much to say, but
Yeah.
if you watch this game,
No, I definitely did not watch this game.
yeah, okay. I'm
But-
not gonna lie. Every time it came up on RedZone, I just went on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I can't skip it on RedZone. So
Yeah, but I was gonna say what Nero just said. At this point, I think if you're the Commanders, I think you should just probably rest Jaden Daniels the rest of the year at this point, or at least, you know, the last couple games, because I don't think it's worth risking his future for them to get maybe one more win. So, like, their season's already wrapped. They might as well just call it here and, you know, look ahead to the draft.
At this point, just take the draft pick.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
Exactly.
And then for the Vikings, I mean, like, it's kind of funny how even though they won, they had 31 points. Justin Jefferson only had like 4 targets, like 2 catches. So he wasn't even involved that much. So I wonder how he feels.
yeah, I mean, he looked happy to get the win.
Yeah.
From what it looked like. You know, I don't want to speak for him, obviously, because but it looked like he was happy enough to get this win.
Right.
Heading in the right direction, and a team that's still trying to get into the race. But
Mhm.
another shit fest. This one sucked too. I did not enjoy watching this game. Wasn't really fun to watch this game whatsoever. The Dolphins beat the Jets 34-10. You know, I mean, shout out Tua, I guess. I mean, this game sucked. I didn't watch much of it. I didn't think it was a good game till like I saw this matchup and I was like, oh my God, the Dolphins are gonna absolutely fucking obliterate the Jets. And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, the next game we'll get to after you guys get into the whatever you guys want to say about this game, if you guys watched any of it. But Devon Achane did come out of this game with an injury. Hopefully, you know, you like to see him keep playing. Obviously, he's an electric, exciting player in this league. Very under the radar running back. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, dude. Like, why are we talking about this dude as like a top 5 running back?
Because he's playing in Miami.
Like, genuinely, like he's that skilled. He's that good. You know, he's good, great in the pass. He's so fucking fast, dude. This dude is blindingly fast, and you know, he's been a little bit better enough to a point, somewhat better than Jonathan Taylor the last couple of weeks, which is oddly enough surprising. So, you know, this Jets team, you know, everybody that was saying Justin Fields sucks and Tyrod Taylor's better, well, this was the game where he could have proved that. And who ended up having to come into the game for Tyrod Taylor? That's pretty. I'm just saying the Jets suck. You know, you guys can, you know, not you guys, but everybody out there hating on Justin Fields, dude. Please go ahead. Like, it's not his fault. You can clearly see it. The same amount of points you're putting up with Justin Fields is the same amount Tyrod Taylor's putting up. Justin Fields put up a 30-point game so far this season. Tyrod Taylor hasn't done that. And whether you want to say it was the first week or not and take that away from Justin Fields, please do. But, you know, I'm tired of people saying Justin Fields is the problem over there. He's not the solution. Let's not get it misconstrued. He's not the solution, but he's not the problem either. And until Woody Johnson croaks or sells the team, this team is going to be stuck where it's at. And, you know, Aaron Glenn, it's another coach who's going to be subjected to probably blame. He's going to be subjected to maybe a firing because Woody Johnson just needs to fucking go. I don't, you know, and obviously the croak thing is a joke. But, like, he's getting up there in age, and, like, he's not going to sell this team until that's probably a possibility. Like, just being honest. And, you know, this Jets team, you know, shout out to everyone in here who's beat up on the Jets all these seasons, all of our lives. They still suck since we were kids. So, You know, I mean, I don't feel bad for this Jets organization. It's past the point where I feel bad for y'all. Then you traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. You're fucking idiots. There's no way to defend this organization anymore in any shape or form. And, you know, Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields, I love you both. You know, two skilled football players. I hope you guys go to a situation where you might be able to get better of a chance. But as far as the quarterback situations look across the league, seems like a lot of these teams already have their guy.
No, indeed. I tell you, like if the Jets end up having a number 1 pick next year, you know, they obviously should go quarterback. A guy, maybe Fernando Mendoza is a savior. I would assume that they might go for that. But even so, like you said, Amari, our whole lives the Jets have been a mess. They have. I mean, they've gone to 2 AFC Championship games 2 years in a row and they didn't do shit. You know, so it's and they haven't been to the playoffs since their last AFC Championship appearance in 2010. It's been almost about 14 years now. Woody Johnson's failure after failure after failure. You have talented guys that come in, you know, but they just can't get it done. And I mean, you know, like you said, also Justin Fields isn't necessarily the problem, but he's not the answer either. And everywhere Justin Fields goes, he has the potential. He is an NFL quarterback. He can play in the NFL. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to unlock him. Truthfully, the Jets haven't been able to unlock him. Pittsburgh gave up on him last year for Russell Wilson, you know, and even with the Bears, they really never believed in him, even when he showed flashes and almost damn near got his team in the playoffs. So it's like, you know,
think about Daniel Jones too.
Exactly. No, and it's Daniel Jones it's the same situation. Yeah, exactly. But at least same thing. But at least, you know, Shane Steichen believed in him, and look how far he got him. Now he's out for the, you know what I'm saying? But at least that's showing a belief with a guy like that. It shows that if you just believe in a kid and give him the tutelage and actually teach him day in and day out of what to actually do in the offense and how to see the field and what to look at, guys can be successful. But when you're not doing that in New York, you're not going to get anywhere ever. You know, so yeah, Woody should sell the team. I don't know who, hopefully somebody, if he does, somebody competent buys the fucking team. Because I tell you, the Jets, they're overdue to at least do something at some point, man. You know.
Right.
Yep. Tyler?
I don't have too much to say about this game, but I do want to let it be known that Dolphins have won 5 out of their last 6, and even though it's win against the Jets and they're not going to go to the playoffs, they've still looked better as of late. So I want to give Miami a little bit of credit there. For the Jets, though, I agree with Nero. I think it's Fernando Mendoza time, and it's time for Woody Johnson to go.
Yeah, Dolphins has won 5 of the last 6, losing to the Ravens.
Right. You know why I think Fernando Mendoza won't fix anything? Because who's he going to throw to? And you could say Garrett Wilson all you want, but we've seen what happens at this juncture when you just double team him. There's nobody else. But if I pray, and I pray that if Fernando Mendoza goes and he wins a national championship, hypothetically,
yep, right.
Yo, I pray he does not go to New York. Like I'm begging the Jets, bro. Leave this kid alone. Please. Leave this kid alone. Like, do not subject him to the shit you've subjected Justin Fields and all these other guys to. Because it doesn't matter how good Mendoza can be. There's still 10 other guys out there who need to go play football. And then another 11 on the other side of it. And you traded literally your 2 best players away. Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Like, as much as I think, you know, it could be Fernando Mendoza time, like, yo, I'm just praying. Yo, I don't know what the race is. The Titans aren't going to take him because they have Cam Ward. They're building around that, which is fine. Awesome. Cam Ward, in my personal opinion, more talented than Mendoza. That's just me. So, you know, it's hard for me to say I want a quarterback to go there. Start somewhere else if you're New York. Just start somewhere else because quarterback, when you've done this so far, it has not worked for you. You have not been able to build around it. Start somewhere else like you did before, drafting defensive players, getting Quinnen Williams, getting his brother, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, who then you let go. That was Sauce Gardner's right man. Then you let him go and walk on to Detroit. And it's just like, I can't see, it doesn't matter who they draft that quarterback. That quarterback's not going to fix the situation. They're not. And Maybe you get a pick. Draft Jeremiah Love. Put somebody next to Garrett Wilson, and see what Justin Fields can do with Jeremiah Love and Garrett Wilson at least next year. Yes, you are taking a gamble, but you have put yourself in the situation to take a gamble year in, year out, because you cannot build around certain guys you draft each year. And I think, if they draft Jeremiah Love and they get a pick that high, do it. Don't go draft Fernando Mendoza, because Garrett Wilson's just going to get double teamed again for a whole nother season. And he's going to get hurt again. And I wish that on nobody, but look what happened to Garrett Wilson this year, man. He's out there struggling, fighting, and scrapping for yards every single play, trying to do the best that he possibly can. And this is a kid we've seen make amazing plays. And genuinely, at certain times, he's looked like a top 10 wide receiver in this league. Looked like it. And you want to take that potential and maximize it by putting a guy next to him who could actually get out there, run routes, do what he's supposed to do, get down the field. And Jeremiah Love right now is projected to go 1 through 3. The Jets are probably going to have one of those picks. If not, take Bain from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Start fresh on defense then. You traded away Quinnen, and you traded away fucking Sauce, and you let DJ Reed go, and you just keep going backwards. It's time to go forward and just draft the best available guy and go from there, because Justin Fields is young enough where if you put the right pieces around him, Adonai Mitchell might feel some competition in camp. Who knows? Competitions in camp bring the best out of some of these guys that we've seen so far in the NFL. Take it, for example, a guy like Chris Hogan, who became a Super Bowl champion. Mm-hmm. He got into a camp with Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola and a couple other guys, and he made the roster and made a difference. And still found a way each week, week in, week out, to make a difference because he fought in camp. And that could be a situation for Adonai Mitchell, but this Jets organization, man, it's just, you have to do the right thing this year. And Aaron Glenn better be the guy to make sure that this pick happens the right way, because he's going out there coaching an aimless team right now at this point. They have no idea what they want to do over there in the front office. And he's subjected to it. And it's sad that he's subjected to it. I feel really bad for Aaron Glenn. Same way they should have never fired Robert Saleh. He wasn't the problem, clearly, as you can see. So, another game that, actually, this game wasn't even bad. This was actually a really interesting game, to be honest with you. The Saints beat the Buccaneers 24-20. I'm going to pose one question and let you guys go. For the Buccaneers, is it panic time? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is it time to panic?
I think so.
I think so. I do. I mean, you just let a rookie quarterback dice you up, especially with his legs. That ain't a good sign. No bullshit. What Tyler Shuck did, and actually, now thinking about it, we talked about last week, and at least can we see some more from Tyler Shuck? The game that he had and a division opponent like that's been the top of the division for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that give him a shot. You give him obviously he's going to have the shot for the rest of this year. You can give him a shot even for next year too. Like, this kid can make some plays, especially with his legs too. He's older. He's 26 years old. Yeah, he's a rookie, but age-wise, he's around what a second or what a third or fourth year guy would be. So exactly. Thank you. This is a guy that can win you a couple football games, and he did so. So now the next time that they play the Bucs, I believe, it might be the last week of the year. Now,
yes, last week or second to last, yeah.
Exactly. So now it's Now that puts more pressure on the Bucs to try to do something against this kid. But I tell you, this kid made some plays, and yeah, the Bucs are in trouble, and they're in trouble when Jason Pierre-Paul, who hasn't played football in a few years, is back on your team. So
yeah.
The rest of the Buccaneers schedule goes Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers.
Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins. Oh, okay. Oh, so they don't see him again. Okay, that's fine.
No,
they played the Saints twice.
Yeah, they played them. They played.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's how fast the season goes by, bro.
No, literally. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot they played them already.
In week 8, just before their bye.
I will say this. I'm right when I'm right, and I'm wrong when I'm wrong. Tyler Shook, bro. I wasn't familiar with your game, gang. I wasn't familiar with your game, bro. I apologize, dog. I was talking hella shit this offseason. You know, the combine, everything else, looking at some of the tape at Louisville, like, dog. Shout out to you, bro. I'm sorry. I was wrong about you, dog. Like, I didn't think you could come in the NFL and win a game like this, bro. I apologize, dog. I am not familiar with your game, bro. I mean, I
He
thought
won
I
the game on his
was.
own.
I thought I was. I thought I was familiar with your game after watching you at Louisville all last season. Yo, I apologize to you, bro. This is a good way to show you belong in this league. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and say you're better than Shador Sanders, but you were drafted ahead of him, obviously, for a reason. You came in and beat a playoff team, or at least that has been for the last 5 years. Right now, we don't know. It's up in the air. But I apologize to you, Mr. Shook. I was wrong about you, and I'm glad you came in and you proved me wrong and everybody else wrong because I didn't think you had it in you like that. Pause. I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
To go back on the Buccaneers side of things, since they have beat the Saints the first time around and the bye week, they have lost 4 out of 5, and the win was last week against the Cards.
Tough.
And even that game was close too last week.
Yeah, they finished by 3 points.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble, man. You know?
Yeah. Last week I said, like, even though I thought it would be a cool story if Carolina could take over the division, I didn't really think it was going to, happen realistically because Tampa has such an easier schedule. But if they can beat the Saints at home, I think that says a lot to me, and it's pretty embarrassing. And seeing how good Carolina has played as of late, I think it puts a lot of pressure on Tampa Bay.
Absolutely.
Because if you look at Carolina, their schedule goes. I mean, they have Saints, yeah, and of course the Buccaneers twice, and the Seahawks between the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a real good job for the Panthers to get the division. So, especially
And the way the Panthers are playing, and after the Bucks just losing to the Saints, dog, Panthers should make the playoffs. Like I agreed with Tyler too last week or the week before. Like I thought the Panthers were gonna make the playoffs. Like, especially after the way the Buccaneers have played, and then being banged up. I even said in I think it was like week 7, maybe, or week 6. I said, this Buccaneers team is good, but the injuries and everything is gonna catch up to them towards the end of the year. And Godwin and Evans missing time, and some of these other guys missing time. The defense can only do so much every single week. And relying on that defense to do that every single week. And Jamel Dean's out there balling, bro, and they're wasting that.
Right.
That's the sad part. Jamel Dean's out there. To me, he's the top 5 corner in this league. There's no doubt. He's the top 5 corner. He's played like one all season, and I think that it's a clear indication that the Saints team, they're showing that over the past couple weeks they're not pushovers, and the Buccaneers are showing that they might miss out, and you can't But if I'm not mistaken, Bucky Irving missed time too.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Just getting banged up in all these weeks and then going forward, like Tyler's spot on. He's been spot on the last couple of weeks. Like the Panthers they're right now, they're probably the front runners. You can't expect this Buccaneers team the way that they're playing. And then, like you just said, this is why I do think, yes, it's time to hit the panic button. You just lost at home to the Saints and a rookie quarterback. It's time to panic. You should panic. And Mike Evans, hopefully Mike Evans makes his return this upcoming week.
Yeah, he can play this week. Yeah.
Yep. So, hopefully that he's healthy enough because he has been rehabbing. Hopefully he's healthy enough to come back this week and make a difference. But, he's staring at a year where he might not get his 1,000 yards, which is also fucking sad. Like, I was hoping he would do that for the rest of his career. That shit is so sad.
If you look at strength of schedule,
Mhm.
The Bucks technically don't have a tough opponent somehow, but the Panthers are listed as an easy opponent.
Which is BS because it's BS because they beat the Packers.
Right.
And it's the opposite. It's the opposite for the Panthers. It's two
the Buccaneers are listed as a tough opponent, which makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Naro. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I will say on the Panthers part real quick, the development of Tedero McMillan, excuse me, I tell you, the way how this kid plays, Mike Evans is Mike Evans, but at least we might be able to see for the next 10 or so years that there was one Mike Evans and then there's a baby Mike Evans, because the way how they plays
Yeah.
week in week out, and now him and Bryce Young's connection is really starting to show. I tell you, he's gonna put fear in the NFC South for years to come. That kid is special. He is. Just give him the ball, throw the ball up to him. Hey, he has the size and the strength to get that ball. But
He does.
yeah.
And I think the Mike Evans take is great as far as the ceiling. You know who I think he's better than? And it's the Panthers. So, but obviously, you know how people speak so highly of Christian Watson?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is what Tedero McMillan looks like what Christian Watson should be.
Exactly. No, that's actually fair to say. Yes.
Like,
because and I will say, I'm glad you said it, Mark, because you know what Tedero does that Christian Watson doesn't. No, excuse me. What Christian Watson does that Tedero doesn't do, drop the fucking ball.
Exactly.
Every time the balls get to him, if he were to drop it, a play is being made on the ball. He's not dropping open passes. That's what makes Tedero so good, because at least when you throw to him and he's wide open, the ball will be caught. You can never now. Tristan Watson's gotten a lot better, but I tell you, man, all those fucking drops that he's had the first few years of career, damn, that's a whole lot of touchdowns that were off the board, man. I tell you,
yeah,
swear to God.
Yep, absolutely. And I'd never been high on Christian Watson. I always thought he was overrated. There's been other analysts out there who love Christian Watson. I don't think he's that good.
Yeah,
and Tedero McMillan is what he's supposed to be right now. And you put Tedero McMillan on the Packers, oh my God, I don't even want to know.
Yeah,
Jordan Love's nasty. Like you've seen. I think the Packers literally lead the league in drops, which is crazy considering they're a playoff team. Which is a testament to how Jordan Love is playing. But speaking of great quarterbacks, we had a star-studded quarterback matchup this past week over there in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cincinnati Bengals 39-34. Now this is a game the Bills honestly had no business winning. The Bengals defense choked. They had no business winning this game. And, Josh Allen made plays when it mattered most. But in terms of this game, do the Bengals win out now, guys? Is this a situation last year? And do they have to, well, not even do they. They're going to face a scenario situation. But do the Steelers and the Ravens falter enough for the Bengals to get in?
I would have to look at the Bengals schedule for this. Oh, but that's probably the best thing to do.
I'll tell you right now.
It's
right
not
hard.
I'm right on it. It's Baltimore again, like I said, and Miami, Arizona, and Cleveland.
Okay.
With 4 games left, you need to hope that everything goes their way, because the max they can get is 8 wins, and the Steelers already have 7. So you need everything to go your way pretty much.
I'll keep it consistent too. I said this too about the Patriots when they played the Bengals. It didn't move me. The Bills beating the Bengals after being down as much as they were, the same way that Nero came on here and said the Patriots had no business winning that game either because they didn't against the Bengals. I'll tell you right now, this team, this win doesn't move me. And now you're going into a team against the Patriots who already beat you in your own building. Now you have to come into Foxborough and play us. That normally doesn't ever go well for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
So, and then you have to play the Browns, and then you have to play the Eagles, who, mind you, listen, this is the team that lost to the Dolphins. If they can lose to the Dolphins and they can lose to the Texans, they can lose to the Browns. And then they have to play the Eagles. Say what you want about how the Eagles have played and what we've said, but that's not a cakewalk of a game for them either, because the Eagles play in the cold as well.
Yep.
So, the Jets is the last game that's a short guarantee for this Bills team. And the way that I'm looking at stuff too, especially if we go to the AFC standings, right? There's a possibility that the Bengals still have a chance.
They do,
They,
but like
they
it's gonna
gotta
be tough.
pray. They gotta pray that the Dolphins shit the bed.
Mhm.
Which, mind you, like Tyler said, like they've had some pretty quality wins and won 5 out of their last 6. So they gotta pray that the Colts shit the bed,
Mhm.
which is a possibility. The Texans' offense is still a question mark. And then you got to pray that my Chiefs shit the bed. These are all very real possibilities.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And, you can't count Joe Burrow out. I don't think you can. And I
Yes,
don't think
he has barely lost any games in December and January
yep, in his whole entire
in his
career.
career.
Mhm.
And this is where he thrives the most. And I think that this is a game where the defense should have helped him out. And last year they probably would have.
No, for
This
sure.
year, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to say. And you look on the other side of things in the NFC, it's a lot closer in the NFC right now. The Niners are 9-4. I don't think they're being talked about enough.
Mhm.
The Niners are 9-4. The Panthers and the Buccaneers 7-6 sitting there. The Seahawks Rams 10-3. The Lions 8-5. The Bears 9-4. The Packers 9-3. The Eagles 8-5. The Cowboys are still in the mix at 6-6. The Commanders are done at this point. I'm not even going to talk about them. The
Yeah,
Commanders,
they're eliminated.
they're done.
Yeah.
But the Vikings are still alive. The Falcons, they suck. They're not doing anything. But, so do the Cardinals, so do the Saints. But, some of those teams at the end of the year, they like to knock teams out of playoff contention. Those
Exactly.
teams still have something to play for. It's not the playoffs, but it's to say, oh, we knocked you out the playoffs. Next year, this is a good sign for us to keep moving forward. That's what you want to see in an NFL from an NFL organization. Obviously, it's a little different speaking in terms of basketball and baseball and hockey because there's more games. There's more time to correct the ship and right the ship throughout the season. You could have a bad first quarter of the season and all of a sudden wake up for 3/4 of the season. You
Right.
can't do that in the NFL. You got to be through and through either good enough to win games or good enough to hang in there with good teams to call yourself a playoff contender. The playoff contender meaning is a lot different in football than it is in all the other sports. So, other than that, I would say this. The question I pose to you guys is, well, I guess other than the broad spectrum question, that was a stupid broad spectrum question I asked. But can this Bills team beat the Pats next week to solidify themselves as still a threat? And if so, is this a team? Since you guys are all in the playoff mix, we all are still in the playoff mix. Are you worried about the Bills if they go in and beat the Pats in Foxborough pretty convincingly?
I would say yes. And the reason I say yes is because of their quarterback. That's the reason. The driving force of this team right now that's really keeping everything afloat is Josh Allen. God forbid Josh Allen gets hurt, everybody's fucked. Everybody's fucked. So as long as Josh Allen is your starting quarterback, you have a shot. You have a shot every week. The only people that let Josh Allen down are his receivers if they don't catch the ball, or it's his defense at times. Once you have Josh Allen, you can go in you're fit. You can win any game possible. But if you don't do your job to help out Josh Allen, or if Josh Allen he himself doesn't do shit to help y'all, then it's on him. But I tell you, if they go in there and win, it's because Josh Allen has a Josh Allen type of game that you just can't stop him. But going to Foxborough, like you said, Amari, the last couple years, you've gone in there. They went 2 years ago. They lost to Mac Jones in a game that they shouldn't have lost. Last year, they didn't give a fuck and they didn't play nobody at the end of the season. So you're going into Foxborough where you haven't won since 2022, and you're going up a team that's won 10 straight games. If I'm the Buffalo Bills, you got it. This is in order to prove that you're still the Buffalo Bills, you got to go in there and you got to try to spank the Patriots any way possible. And Josh Allen has to play clean football, not turn the ball over, and everybody around him has to actually not let him down. If they do that, they have a shot of, winning convincingly, truthfully.
Absolutely. Ben, since you're a Ravens fan, you're muted.
See, I always happens once. Always. Gotta happen at this one. Yeah, I don't see like Nero said, like it all relies on Allen pretty much, but I really don't see the Bills beating convincingly the Patriots. It's like it's gonna be a close game, like the first game. It's gonna be one sided. No, absolutely not. Like Drake May's been on fire. Allen's been on fire. James Cook hasn't been bad. Like again, it all depends on the receiving core of both teams, and the offense, the lines, and the defense as well. So stuff to say. Yeah. This I don't even know what to say as a Ravens fan at this point because like they're clearly better than us. Of course, I'm like, yeah, well, shit.
I mean, yeah, well, that's because you guys are injured, you know.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
I'll give you a little bit of slack, you know what I mean? Like, that's a fair enough assessment when it comes to at least going in there in Foxborough, you know.
Yeah. Tanner?
I don't have too much to add. I agree with what Nero said. I think if you have Josh Allen, you can win almost any game. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks ever, but their defense really has to step up if they want to beat the Patriots because while Buffalo has the quarterback, New England still has Drake May, and I think that New England's roster is played a lot better than Buffalo's this year, so it can't just be a one-man show. So I think, James Cook, everybody on the offense besides Josh Allen, and then their defense is going to have to step up if they want to contain very accurate quarterback in Drake May.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think like I'm glad you brought up the defense too cuz like you said, the defense is going to matter a lot. Pats have a near bottom 20 pass defense, so it's a situation where Josh Allen could really come in and redeem himself. That's the only reason why I pretty much posed the question. It's cuz this Pats passing defense hasn't been one of the best all season, which is a rarity to be honest with you. That's something we haven't really seen in a while.
Right.
Say what you want about whatever about all these other situations and Mac Jones and the offense not being able to score points, but when your defense has to go out there in the previous years, when your defense has to go out there 24/7, there's only so much you can do. And I feel like this Pats offense has kept them off the field, and the fact that they're now in a position where the pass defense is bottom 20, like, you know, I think that there's still a chance the Bills go in there. Me personally, it's early in the week, but I have I have the Patriots winning this game. I
Mhm.
don't see the Bills winning this game. Um, and like I said, the only thing that people would be able to hold on to for a debate is the fact that the Patriots also had somewhat of a similar game that the Bills did, except the Patriots weren't trailing as much as the Bills were. I don't even know if the Patriots were trailing at any point. I think the Bengals just kept it a close game, is really what it was. And if the Patriots were trailing, there's no way it could have been by more than one score, if I remember correctly.
No, I think they were losing in the first quarter 10-0. But
Oh
after
shit!
yeah, so they were down 10-0 in the first quarter. But what it was is the Hunter Henry touchdown to make it 10-7. But what changed it was the Marcus Jones pick six. That's what changed the game around right there. But they were down.
Okay,
They
I
were
thought
down
that
10-0.
happened in the first quarter.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
I
that's why I
mean,
said okay.
what I'm seeing right here, it was never 10-0.
Oh, for the Bengals?
Yeah. Oh, the Bengals. Oh, I thought it was the Pats Bills. I'm beyond stupid. No,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Pats and the Bengals game.
Pats Bengals. I'm on the wrong teams. What the fuck is going on? I had
No, it's
Pats
all right.
Bills
There was
and
a couple
Bills
matchups
Bengals.
we said in there. There was a couple matchups we said in there. It's okay. It wasn't that clear.
Yeah.
I think that situation, it just the Bills played a lot worse than I felt like the Patriots played against the Bengals. That's why I still have the Patriots in this game.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, even looking at this Bills Bengals game, like the real thing that changed the game was Joe Burrow throwing 2 picks in a row. If that never happened and the Bengals still had the lead right before he threw the first pick, that whole outcome would have been way different. We definitely would have probably seen a Bengals win and a Bills loss, and we probably would be talking about right now. Oh shit, are the Bills in trouble? That's what happens when you can change a game off 2 picks and it goes your way and everything starts going your way after that. It changes the outlook of how your season can go,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
1,000%. And holy shit, Ben.
Yep.
Oh my God.
You just saw that? Yep.
I just got the Apple Sports thing just popped on my phone.
Yep.
The
Yep.
Lightning, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man, Ben. That's
That's why.
6-1 is
Yeah.
crazy. 6-1 is
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, bro. Goaltending is gonna be the killer for you guys. You guys should literally be the best team in the league. It's so crazy. But speaking of
There
best
was a
teams,
goalie switch in this game, by the way.
that's how bad it was.
Yep. We
Jesus.
started Dobish, and Montamoretti came in for the second. Tell you what it is.
Jeez, man. But speaking of best teams in the league, the Broncos went into Las Vegas. They went to Caesar's Palace and beat the Raiders 24-17. You know, I mean, I think the most interesting thing about this game is that Bo Nix continues to show that he can just win games and on minimal turnovers. I think that Bo Nix should, there is a situation here where I'm starting to see a pattern with Bo Nix, right? I think what he does is he's very, very, very lethargic throughout a lot of these quarters. And then somehow in the second half, he's just like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though in this game he had a rushing touchdown to start the game, RJ Harvey did help out. They were up 21-7. But the defense eventually let this game get closer than it probably should have.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. What'd you say?
Oh, no, I said, yeah, I agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It wasn't even a question of the offense in this game. It was literally a question of the fact that, this defense, even though they held the second and third quarter to the Raiders on not giving up points, then you go into the fourth quarter and all of a sudden they just score 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that the biggest thing is that this team had 356 total yards. It's getting to a point where we're starting to talk about this team, right? And if we look at the stats here, it gets to a point where you look at the offensive team totals, and the Broncos still, at this point in the season, keep climbing. Remember, this was a team that was bottom 20. Now they're in the range of top 15.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, they're 10th by looking at this normally, because I look at this shit a lot. So it looks like they're 10th. And if they're not 10th, they're 11th or 9th. Either way.
Mm.
This is a team that's continually climbing up the offensive ranks each and every week. And the craziest part is it's solely dependent on the pass. That's really what it is. J.K. Dobbins, you say what you want, right, about him being injured, but he was a big factor. Now you look at R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey's coming into these games, and R.J. Harvey is killing. He really is. And, you look at a team that they only have two receivers over 500 yards. Cortland Sutton's been great, but remember, Troy Franklin didn't get over a 500 yards up until this week, I think, or last week.
Mm-hmm.
So they had one guy who was over 500 yards for the majority of this season. And you look at all these other guys, and he spread the ball around to these other guys. There's not a single guy on this team that has more than 5 receiving touchdowns. Cortland Sutton has 5. Troy Franklin has 5. Ingram 1. Pat Bryant 1. Marvin Mims Jr. 1. R.J. Harvey 4 receiving touchdowns, which then you go look at his rushing touchdowns. He has 5. He has a total of 9 touchdowns. He's ultimately been, other than Bo Nix, he's ultimately been the best offensive player. If you wanted to say Cortland Sutton, be my guest. I wouldn't agree with you, but be my guest, because R.J. Harvey literally has almost as many total yards as Cortland Sutton has receiving yards. And I think that that's something that's not being talked about a lot. And R.J. Harvey has been a great, great benefactor of this offense due to the fact that they need to utilize him in many different ways, and he has stepped up. And as a running back, when you're averaging 19 yards a game, but you're also averaging about 6.7 yards a catch, a lot of receivers in the NFL aren't even probably averaging 6.7 yards a catch right now. Truth be told.
Right.
So, I think the biggest thing has been Bo Nix has found a way week in, week out to trust his guys to make plays. And I think Sean Payton has put every guy in a position to be at their best. cut continuously every single week. And this is why I say coaching matters, because you look at this Broncos roster on offense and you're like, holy shit, this sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this sucks. But then you dig deeper and you see the improvement from last year and the year before and their record now, and they beat the returning champions. And you look at what the Broncos have done in terms of just their schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, losing to Indianapolis and Los Angeles earlier in the year, 1-score games by 1 point, 2 points. But ever since then, they haven't lost a game. And they've played Houston along the way. They've played Dallas along the way. They've played the returning champion Eagles along the way. They've played the Kansas City Chiefs. Say what you want. You guys can talk all the shit you want about us, but we went to the Super Bowl last year. And, you know, they beat the teams that they should have beat. And say what you want about the New York game, but New York has kept some of these other games against good teams crazy close.
Right.
So I think that this Broncos team, this game showed, no matter what, this team finds a way to win. And whether it's been on offense like this week or defense like last week, this team continues to find a way to win. And that's a big thing. And sweeping your division, well, not sweeping, but they're probably gonna sweep us. I'm just keeping it completely honest. They're gonna sweep us. They swept Las Vegas. And they're gonna, they don't have to. Well, they have to play Los Angeles. It's a flex game at the week 18, but
Right.
they might split with Los Angeles. They very well could not lose a game going into the last week of the season. And the craziest part is they need to beat Jacksonville, and they need to beat Green Bay, and they need to
Mm-hmm.
beat Kansas City. And the reason why is because, like we said before, looking at the Patriots schedule. This is a schedule also that is extremely more favorable to the Patriots than the Broncos schedule is to them. The Patriots are playing a banged up Ravens. They're playing the Bills, who they already beat, and they're playing the Jets and the Dolphins. This is where Bo Nix is probably going to show whether he can lead this team to a Super Bowl. Because that's what's on the line for Bo Nix this year so far, right now. If he can win out and he can show that he is a Super Bowl contending quarterback, and say what you want about the AFC is weak and whatever, yada, 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 that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, no one had the Broncos being this good. I was the one that said they were going to win the division and probably lead the AFC. That real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, yes, it's been a result of defense, but we can't keep saying every week it's just defense at this point when Bo Nix is doing what he's doing every single week. It's just, and he's also killing shit with his legs too.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows when to run. He knows when not to run. And I think that the biggest thing for Bo Nix too is we even saw this dude score a receiving touchdown. I think it was either last year or the beginning of this year. He head topped mossed somebody for a touchdown. This dude's just an athlete
Mm-hmm.
and a great one. And I just obviously wanted to give Bo Nix, his credit real quick, because Bo Nix definitely deserves it. For sure.
No, for sure. I mean, some people might say that he's having somewhat of a sophomore slump, but truthfully, like, besides, stat wise, the stats might not be as crazy as what one might think. He's still, for the most part, doing what he has to do, and what he's doing is winning. By any means possible, they're winning games, and he's at the helm. So you can't discredit what this team has done off of, like you said, Amari, just off the defense, because the offense, even though they struggled at times, they found a way to get it done because that's the man leading them. What helps him out also, like you said, also is his legs. If you take away all of his receivers and there's an open lane, he's going to take it. If you're worried about him running and you leave somebody open, he'll be able to complete the pass. So plays like that. And he doesn't necessarily have to throw a touchdown every game, and whatnot. But if he can at least move the ball down the field and get guys and get RJ Harvey to score, or, get, Marvin Mims to score, or et cetera, then he's doing his job. It doesn't, stats don't have to prove everything. As long as you win and as long as you make the right plays when needed, that's what wins you games in the NFL. So,
and that's why he won't get an MVP nod, although I think he should. But
no, for sure,
he won't get one, unfortunately.
Right. It's all stat padded. They want to look at the stats. That's it.
Yep.
You don't want to look at real impact,
He hasn't been better than May or Stafford, but if we're looking at in terms of like just overall play and winning games, like you, I think he's been better than Jordan Love.
Uh-huh.
The stats won't tell you that, but
Right.
you also look, I guess at the Packers schedule, right? Like they've played some really good teams.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what's really the saving grace a lot for Jordan Love is that, he's beaten Detroit, which right now is a playoff team. He's beaten Pittsburgh, which is right now leading the division. You know, the two losses to Carolina and Philadelphia, they're going to look at that though.
Right.
That's going to be the thing. But going up against Minnesota, one of the best pass defenses and putting up 23 points, he was great.
Right.
He had a 300-yard game against Dallas. It ended up in a tie, but he balled out. 34 yards against, again, the Lions and the Bears, getting that win over the Bears. It puts him at least in the conversation of he's probably the third candidate right now. Jonathan Taylor has played himself out of that contention, but May and Stafford are so far ahead in the sense of statistics and just in general. May week in, week out is throwing for 250 yards plus between 250 and 300, and he's just efficient.
Mhm.
Dude's like over 70. I think it's like over 70% in terms of just like completion percentage,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken. So you look at that, and obviously we run an offense where running is important to us, which is fine.
Right.
And they were without Josh Jacobs at certain points in the season, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Jacobs was banged up. But this dude, even just in the month of December so far, is throwing 77%. At home, he's throwing 72.5% at home. He's just far beyond in a way, probably. I think May is probably going to win it.
Mhm.
Although, excuse me, I think Stafford's going to win it. Although Drake May, if we're just going by the stats, Drake May probably should, just due to the efficiency, moving the ball down the field constantly. Against his own conference, has more yards in general than the other conference. And I think it's enough to say, what we're seeing from Drake May is what we're going to see from years to come. And that's how I feel about Bo Nix too. The only thing is I would say is that, Stephon Diggs is obviously a guy who, would you guys say Stephon Diggs is better than Courtland Sutton right now?
Right now?
That's a
Yeah.
good.
I would say so. Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, I would say. I would have
It's
to. He's more. I feel like he's made more impactful plays.
Agreed.
If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying.
Agreed.
I feel like with his pedigree, and because mind you, they're two different receivers. They're two. Courtland Sutton is a more. He's not necessarily a deep threat, but he's a guy that you look more towards to go deep and get the ball. Whereas Stephon Diggs moves the sticks on a consistent basis. But if I had to pick my money on a game-winning drive, who to make a catch to win a game, right now I would have to go with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Yeah. So I would say in this aspect, yes, he's better. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of people have been saying Stephon Diggs. That's why I posed that question, because I still think that Stephon Diggs is elite.
Mhm.
Bro, people are saying, oh, well, he's still not that good. He's not this, he's not that. I'm like, bro, what are you watching? Like, it's not like Drake May. To be quite honest with you, everyone's playing their role. So for everyone to sit and say Drake May has an elite offense and whatever, remember, your quarterback has to get the ball to these guys.
Exactly.
So you could say whatever you want, but if you look at this offense on paper and then you compare it to the Lions, you compare it to the Rams, you could even go so far as to say the Buccaneers, fully healthy. You could. I'm not going to say Green Bay because Romeo Doubs sucks. Christian Watson sucks. Jaden Reed is ass. Them niggas are on my banned list.
Right.
So they've been on my banned list for the past 2 seasons. So I'm not going to sit there and say Jordan Love has a better offense, because I think he only has a better running back.
Right.
And a better offensive line. That's just my personal opinion. And, obviously Josh Jacobs is still an elite enough running back where Henderson's not there yet. Ramondre Stevenson is a fumble monster. But the fact that they both have 100+ carries and Travion Henderson has 300+ more yards than this dude.
Yeah.
Like, the run game is so important to them. Drake May doesn't have to throw for 350. He doesn't have to throw for 330. Jordan Love has to do that because Josh Jacobs was out. Jordan Love has to do that because normally Jordan Love is first receiver, can't fucking get open. So then he has to buy time and throw the ball down the field. And Tucker Kraft was a big beneficiary of that, obviously. But, he's out now.
Exactly.
So I think, it's a tough situation in terms of Love trying to sneak in there. But I think Bo Nix should be in the conversation a little bit more than he has. And I personally think he's third. I love Jordan Love. I love his game. I love his ability, but I can't sit here and say he's been better than Bo Nix this season.
No, that's fair.
But in terms of this game, the Raiders are the Raiders. I mean, there's really not much to say about the Raiders, to be honest with you. Kenny Pickett had to go in that bitch and try and save the day.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Literally.
So on the Raiders end, they just paid Max Crosby. That's a team that should go Fernando Mendoza because he just paid Geno Smith $80 million. You may as well trade him to get more draft picks for this season, depending on what teams would give up. Maybe get a couple guys, maybe get a guy or two along the way. But this Geno Smith shit's not working out. You just gave that man $80 million. So now Fernando Mendoza has to be into play. I don't really think Carson Beck's that good. Never really thought he was that good at all. I actually think there's only 2026 QB eligible. I forget who's eligible. I know that Carson Beck is. I know that Mendoza is. I know Sellers is. Lenora Sellers. Actually, Lenora Sellers is sneakily underrated. Sneakily underrated. And, my guy Marcel Reed is staying. Can't blame him. You know what I mean? He does need another year of development, as he's shown this year. We've had a great defense most of the season. The offense has been awesome at the helm of Marcel Reed, but he does need one more year, I think, in my personal opinion. I'm not sold on Dante Moore at all. I don't think Dante Moore is that good. I
He's
think
probably staying another year too. Dante Moore, he's probably staying, yeah.
Yeah, he probably should. I know Mendoza off of the season that he's going off of right now, he definitely will be in there. Lenora Sellers, he's definitely going to be in there. And, obviously at that position, you're not going to take Lenora Sellers over Fernando Mendoza. But let's say if somebody else snaps up Mendoza, your best option is going to be Lenora Sellers. It's looking like from what you're seeing at the end of the season. John Mateer he's been great, but he's faltered towards the end of the season. He was great for the first 4 to 5 weeks. They were considering putting him in the Heisman conversation for the first 4 to 5 weeks. And Nussmeier has fallen off a cliff as well, who was a guy last year I thought was awesome. And, I said at the beginning of the year this year too, even when we did a lot of college football talk on what the hell is happening in sports, make sure you guys go subscribe to Narrow's What the Hell is Happening in Sports. Sometimes you'll see me on there for football. You'll see me on there for basketball, the occasional Red Sox talk, Go and join them. They be going crazy. Y'all gotta go watch the fucking What the Hell's Happening in Sports After Dark. That shit's hilarious. Y'all gotta go watch that shit too. That shit's funny as hell. I was dying on the last one. Drew Aller, he's a senior. I don't know if he has a year left of eligibility, but his stock just dropped tremendously by getting hurt. So, you look at these situations and Sam Levitt, he's good, but if the Raiders are going to go a guy, it's got to be Mendoza or Sellers. And even though it's early, it's going to be a tough situation for them to come back from, for sure, indeed. After giving Geno $80 million.
Yeah, maybe they might end up having a new coach too. So you never know what they can do. Yeah,
John Gruden.
You don't know. Make him cut. Imagine he comes back. Be crazy.
They need it at this point. Pete Carroll is not going to be able to keep getting the job done. Tell you that. He's getting up there in age.
Exactly.
About draft talk, I have a question real quick.
Yeah, talk to me.
Do the Giants have their own pick?
Do the Giants have?
They have their own pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, if the season ended today, I believe the Giants would have the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
So they probably obviously a lot can change in terms of who gets drafted number 1, but all I know is the first quarterback that probably will end up getting picked. Whoever, what team it is, it's probably going to be Mendoza. They're probably going to favor him as the first quarterback off the board.
And if anything, the Giants are probably going to take Jeremiah Love to put next to Malik Neighbors. just for future
Because
purposes.
I mean,
you know,
I have a mock draft in front of my face. They have, I don't know why, I don't know how that's happened. The Rams with the first pick of the Giants. I don't know how that happened.
the Rams? No, there's no way.
No, I know, but like I'm so confused.
Oh, maybe the Falcons, because the Rams have the Falcons pick. So what actually would be crazy?
Oh,
if
what the fuck?
Yeah, so if the Falcons end up having the number 1 pick, if their record wise, it'll go to the Rams. So the Rams could very well have the number 1 pick if it happens like that.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Like, look at me real quick.
Dog.
I just closed my phone.
I wouldn't be able to see it from a screen.
No,
hold on. Let's see it. 2026.
it's killing like a Rams logo. I'm trying to make it focus. There you go.
Yo, what the fuck?
It's giving such a Ryan Mendoza.
Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck?
Honestly, that actually would be crazy if the Rams take him number 1 overall. He naturally he doesn't have to play immediately, and he could sit behind Stafford for a year, maybe even 2, but at least a year. That actually wouldn't be a bad situation, not at all, for Fernando Mendoza to go to LA.
That would be
It
perfect.
wouldn't, but if anything, I think they take Bain Jr. just to put alongside Jared Verse, especially with that first overall pick. Like, yo, him and Jared Verse would be crazy, bro. And that what's his name? Kobe Durant, right?
Yeah, Kobe Durant. Yep.
Yeah, like him back there having the season he's having. And then you also got, honestly, the craziest part is too, we were just looking at this the other day. And there's the corner. What's his name, bro? Oh my goodness. I'm about to look at it right now. I forget his name.
Avion Terrell?
No.
No, that's a receiver. I'm stupid.
Shit.
I don't have a corner.
No, the kid from LSU, Mansour Delan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, putting him on that team next to Durant, 2 young guys. And then you also got to think, too, there's a possibility, even if Bain Jr. is there, there's still Arvell Reese as well. Arvell Reese is still a guy that, Arvell Reese and Bain are probably going to be the 1-2 punches for edges in the first, the lottery part, and the first round in general. So even if they go Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain Jr., that might be a better situation, especially, let's say that's if they don't win a Super Bowl. Let's say they win a Super Bowl. What does it hurt bringing in Mendoza just to be on? I do see the vision, though. What does it hurt having Mendoza sit? You know what I mean? If you win a Super Bowl, then let's say you try and run it back and you still make the playoffs and you're still at the top of the NFC, right? And Mendoza's looking at all this happening and learning from Matthew Stafford with his arm talent and skill and his IQ and his decision making. Because remember, Matthew Stafford's knock was decision making for a lot of years before he got to LA and eventually won a Super Bowl. So not that he has to take that long of a route, but it does expedite his growth process. And now you just found a guy to literally take you to the Super Bowl again. And he learned behind one of the best quarterbacks to ever live. I could see the vision with that. Honestly.
And you know what's actually kind of funny? You realize every starting quarterback that Sean McVay has been a number 1 pick. That's kind of crazy, right? You go from Jared Goff, who he didn't pick, but was the number 1 pick the year before you got there. Then you go to Matt Stafford, who you traded Jared Goff for, a swap. Then you have Baker Mayfield come in and play a little bit when Stafford was hurt. And now you get Fernando Mendoza. That's actually kind of funny that the only quarterbacks that he's dealt with have been number 1 overall picks. That's actually kind of funny. He hasn't had a quarterback that has been drafted number 2, number 3, second round. It's always been number 1 pick. That's actually kind of crazy. That's actually kind of crazy now thinking about it.
Bars, chat.
Looking back at it, for the mock draft, it says the 1 would be Rams from the Giants, but at 9 it says Giants from Atlanta via Rams.
Interesting.
So the Giants do have it.
No, at 1 it says the Rams and Giants are at 9.
Maybe a trade up. Maybe a trade up to number 1, maybe?
That would make sense. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I feel like that's going to be something to monitor in the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's going to be something to monitor. Well, not even because actually the draft starts before the offseason. So that's going to be something to monitor, just in general.
Mhm.
Once, they're eligible to trade these types of picks and do all that stuff after the time period's over. Oh, man. That's like scary to think about, especially if the Rams win the Super Bowl. All that new money, SoFi, LA, it's just, oh,
And you
wow.
bring on Mendoza. Jesus.
Yeah, like I just,
Yeah.
damn, that's a scary thing to think about. But even if they have a top 10 pick, like, bro, you're still able to get Arvell Reese or Caleb Downs or fucking, like, what, bro? That's unfair. It's so
Mhm.
unfair. I
Mhm.
think the Giants should take Jeremiah Love, though. They should. The Giants should. Jackson Dart, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Jeremiah Love. That's offensive
Scatterboo.
future.
Mhm.
Scatterboo. All
Mhm.
these young, they're all, if I'm not mistaken, they're all under the age of 25.
Mhm.
I think Neighbors might be turning 25. Let's see. Neighbors might be no, he's 22.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He's 22. And Cam Scatterboo, 23. Jackson Dart, I think he's like 21. So
21 and 22. Yeah.
yeah, so Jackson Dart being as young as he is, he's 22. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it I think it makes sense for them to go Jeremiah Love just because, I get it, right? What's his face is a really, really good complimentary piece, Wandale Robinson. Like Ben said, he's been a healthy surprise all season. Um, you know, and I think Wandale Robinson is showing that at his best ability right now, he could probably be a very, very, very good contributing wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
I
do agree.
I think that Jeremiah Love, obviously, like he's for a receiver to be projected to go top 5 is a generational talent.
Mhm.
Malik Neighbors, generational talent. Those types of receivers don't come up every single year. That doesn't happen every year. So, and you look at a situation like, look at what the Pats did when they drafted N'Keal Harry for whatever fucking reason. Still will never understand that shit. What made you possess you to think that N'Keal Harry was better than DK Metcalf and or AJ Brown? Never gonna, or was it Debo Samuel? I'm sorry. I can't remember. Nero, do you remember?
Repeat the question again. I just want to make sure I'm
Because
answering it
remember
right.
when the Pats drafted N'Keal Harry,
Uh huh.
was it Debo and AJ they drafted over, or was it DK and AJ that
Oh,
they
it was
drafted?
that drafted. Actually, it was 4. It was DK. They drafted him over DK, Debo, AJ Brown, and Terry McLaurin.
Oh my, Terry McLaurin. Okay, Terry McLaurin was the name. Okay, and
Yeah.
Debo went to. Didn't they all? Did they all go to? Did they all go to Ole Miss?
Nah, he went to
No,
South Carolina, but it
South
was yeah.
Carolina.
AJ and DK went to Ole Miss though. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was getting it mixed up. I couldn't remember who went to South Carolina. Okay, thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you for the
Mhm.
correction. Absolutely.
No, you good. You good.
Fucking, but yeah, like that situation, right? Jeremiah Love's a no-brainer, though. Like, that's a no-brainer. This is not one of those drafts like Nero just explained, right? You got guys like Debo and AJ and DK Metcalf, and you skip for N'Keal Harry. Like, don't know why, but it's not one of those drafts. And the Giants can't mess that up if Jeremiah Love falls there. I think it's
Mhm.
the best situation for them. You give Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors and him room to grow. And by the time they're 25, 26, with Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, we're just talking about in terms of the future. The Giants could set themselves up to be the best team of the future if they draft Jeremiah Love. For real.
No,
It
for
could be
sure.
a possibility.
I tell you, because that him and Scatterboo in that backfield, I tell you, that's you don't want to tackle those guys. You don't.
Nope.
And if you have them on the field together, with Scatterboo acting as a fullback or Jeremiah Love in certain play acting like a fullback, yeah, that's a lot of muscle coming at you. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
Yeah, and like I said before too, the Raiders, they're you know, Jeremiah Love is a guy that obviously, he's also young. He's 20. He's
Mhm.
going to be 21 when entering. And, you look at the situation too. and Jeremiah Love is just an explosive football player.
Right.
He reminds me a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs, bro. He reminds me a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs, dog. He's that good. And he's slim too. He's not like overbearingly big. And I think that leads for, a guy that strong and that fast and that elusive and that skilled. You don't want him to be too big. Like, let Cam Scatterbo do all that work. Keep Jeremiah Love in there the same way, like Ben said, right? The beautiful setup of the Lions, right? You got Gibbs, who is the bulk of a lot of these drives. Throw Monty in there in the red zone to bully his way to the end zone and split it up that way. Or when you need it's a 3rd and short, throw Scatterbo in there, just the way that they throw Monty in there. Like, that could be a very, very good situation for them. So that's how I'm looking. And if the Raiders have Ashton Genty, so I don't think that that would make sense for them to go in that position. I think Bain or Arvell Reese would be the best option for the Raiders to stack up against Max Crosby on the other end. Have 2 elite guys on both ends. But yeah, with that being said, you guys have obviously Tyler. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Broncos Raiders game? I know me and Nero going back and forth tit for tat there for a second, but
I've just been doing my own things, doing my stuff for like my Instagram page because.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you gotta document that loss so I can comment.
Yeah, good one.
A bunch of laughing emojis.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
6-1.
Yeah, let's not talk about it, please. Thank you. The Broncos winning by only 7 points, I think, is a bit surprising, considering the Raiders had to go to the backup quarterback. But this is not a surprising win for the Broncos. We all expected them to win, and they did. Which I just expected a bigger score than this, like more and a bigger difference in points scored.
I mean, well, remember, the Broncos got scoring struggles at certain points, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. With the Raiders, I mean, like, I just don't really know what their plan was when they drafted Ashton Genty so high, but didn't get him any like good protection, like going into the season. So once again, I just keep saying free Ashton Genty. Like, I think he's so talented, but he's stuck behind such trash offensive line. And I mean, Amari, you beat me to it earlier. I was going to say when we were talking about the Jets, I think Fernando Mendoza is a guy that the Raiders should look forward to in the draft. I think that's a much better situation than the Jets, for his sake at least too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But they need to go out there and address their O-line this offseason, though, for sure.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. Yeah, absolutely. That might be, yeah. And there's and in the projected top 15, there's plenty of O-line. There's plenty of tackles in there.
Yep.
There's plenty. So, and if you look at the way that offensive line is evolving, you got guys like playing tackle, but also being able to play a little bit inside and doing some stretch run stuff, getting to second level. The way that these offensive coordinators are becoming more creative in the NFL, you don't see a lot of just specifically tackle guys unless it's like pass offense. A lot of the run defense stuff too. I mean, run offense, you're seeing a lot of creativity, a lot of tackles flexing to the second level, a lot of centers and guards becoming more athletic too. And prime example, Penei Sewell, he's a guy who's playing tackle right now. And, he was originally a guard for a lot of his life. And, he, I think, was one of the obviously first ones to kind of come in most recently and kind of be a guy that has the versatility. And ever since then, you kind of seen a lot of these guys become more versatile and be able to go inside and out. So, athleticism is a big thing. A guy like Will Campbell, right? They said he had short arms and all this other stuff and yada, yada, yada. These offensive linemen are just becoming more nimble and more athletic by the season each single year. And, it's not the typical, oh, we need you to be 6'7" and 300 pounds and just block and let everybody do the rest. Offenses are just getting way more advanced, So awesome game from the Broncos, in terms of the offense, going into it. Now, the matchup of what I think is the week, to be quite honest with you, other than the
And I do
Eagles
agree with you.
Chargers game. I thought Bengals Bills shouldn't have even, like, I don't know, like that was just like like Joe Burrow. I don't know what he was doing. But you look at this game, Bears Packers. In my personal opinion, this was the second best game of the week. Um, you know, the Bears. I was rooting for them. Those are my guys. You guys already know it's my NFC squad. You feel me? Like I thought that this was a game. Obviously, you know, I don't like people shitting on Caleb Williams. Like it doesn't really sit right with me. I don't think
Mhm.
he's the reason they lost this game. I just thought the secondary, you know, was a little bit vulnerable at times, which, from this Bears defense, we've seen a lot of the season. Like Nashawn Wright's been awesome. The secondary has been awesome a majority of the season. I'm not honestly taking too much stock into this game. If this was a game the Bears were going to lose for the rest of the season with the rest of their schedule, this was going to be the game, to be
Right.
quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's because the Packers beat them every year. It is what it is. It's a tradition. We've seen it. Poor Aaron Rodgers flexing the belt every year, and it just this is and Jordan Love is obviously his predecessor. So um I just think that I'm not worried about the Bears. I don't think it's time for Bears fans to be worried. I'm sure Tyler will probably tell you the same thing. Even though on last podcast too, he said, this is not an easy schedule, but I think the Bears showed a lot in this game that, if it comes down to a playoff game, they're gonna learn from these mistakes. And Ben Johnson has been amazing this year. I think Ben Johnson coached up a really good game. The game plan was awesome this game. And
Mhm.
I just felt like the defense didn't execute at certain big points in this game. But for the most part, I felt like the Packers also, the Packers did a good job of learning from their previous mistakes earlier on in the year. Jordan Love is learning from his mistakes the same way Caleb Williams is, even though they're a couple years in terms of that. I think that, you look at this situation and I guess, for me, like Caleb Williams, he has to deserve all the credit, at least at this point on offense for spreading the ball around, using his legs. There's been some underwhelming guys I felt like in terms of like DJ Moore has I think DJ Moore is a little bit of a shell of himself, to be quite honest with you. He's not the same athletic threat that he used to be. And I think that, Caleb Williams being so young and DJ Moore being able to understand to get to the positions he's supposed to get to. Why log me in, you fucking whore, NFL Pro. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
Um, it is. It's being. I just logged in earlier to make sure this shit was all set. But yeah, no. So, I look at the situation. I look at this game. There's a lot of situations where I felt like Caleb Williams did what he was supposed to do, and some of the other guys did it. But before I get to the last play of that game, where we'll talk about that in a minute. But before I get to the last play of the game, Tyler, does this game worry you, or is this just like okay, this is like a team I'm okay with losing to, and let's just chop it up to that and bring it to next week?
Really quick, I have a lot written down over here. So if you see me looking over, that's just because I have a lot of notes written.
Absolutely, bro. Go ham.
So, and I wrote a decent amount down. So yeah, the first thing I want to say, I think Bears fans are completely overreacting to this loss. Not all, but I think a good majority of our fan base is. I don't know how much you guys see Bears fans, but as you can expect, me being a Bears fan, I'm in a lot of group chats, and a lot of people, you would have thought the sky was falling just because we lost to the Packers. Like, obviously, it sucks losing to our biggest rival, one of the biggest rivals in NFL, Bears Packers. It sucks that we lost. But like you said, it happens every year. And as long as we can split with them and beat them in week 16, which is probably going to be an even bigger matchup than this one is, I think we'll be good. I predicted a split before the season started. So if we can get our get back at home, I think we'll be straight. Do you want me to go ahead and talk about like my thoughts about this game, or do you want to bring up the plays you were talking about first?
No, go ahead. Yeah, you have the floor, my guy. You're the Bears. You're the Bears connoisseur here.
Okay. So it was definitely a heartbreaker. The thing about our offense, though, in this game is just it just felt like there was zero energy in the first half on the offensive side. And I think if we do end up losing more games down these last, we have 3 or 4 games left. If we end up losing some of those, it's going to be because of our slow starts, because that's been something that has happened the most of the year. I think against Baltimore, we only had 7 points in the first half, and against the Giants, we only had 6 in the first half. This week, we only had 3. So if we want to be in the same echelon as the Rams and the Seahawks, we have, and the Packers too, we have to be able to get off to better starts. We can't just have a field goal at halftime and then expect ourselves to always be able to play catch up in the second half. That's not going to always be a good recipe for success. And that's not all on Caleb. Some of that's, like you said, I don't have anything really negative to say about Caleb in this game because in the second half, he played very good. But in the first half, I just think we need to come out without being so flat. We need to be more exciting. And the Packers defense is very, very good. So I'm not expecting us to have like 20 points in the half, but we have to be able to score more than 3. We can't just do everything in the second half. And then when shit hits the fan on the final drive, we can't just say, oh, well, like blame it all on Caleb. Like, and then like the run game, because I always try to find the positives even in the losses. The run game was still pretty good this game. In this one, I don't think nobody really expected it to be as good as it was against the Eagles because that's just like once in a blue moon type of game for 2 running backs to have 125 plus yards, especially with how good the Packers D line is. But it was still good. I still like the plays that Ben Johnson drew up throughout the game. I thought our run game was well. Guys, the only gripe that I have with Caleb, the only thing, like literally the only thing, is just his accuracy. I just wish he was more accurate because when you look at a guy like Drake May, they were both drafted the same year and both only in year 2. Drake May is a much more accurate quarterback than Caleb is. And I know some guys take a little bit while to get it. They take longer to get adjusted to the NFL versus, coming from college. So, and this is only his first year with the Ben Johnson offense. But at the same time, this is Drake May's first year with Mike Vrabel. So the accuracy is something that I would love to see Caleb get better at. And I think he will. Actually, in this one, he started off, I think it was 5 for 12. And then in the second half, he was like 14 for 23. So that you can see improvement throughout the game in this one. But I just think that needs to be something that he needs to get better at. Everything else I think is fine. I think he's still really, really clutch. He still escapes the pocket really, really well. Micah Parsons almost got to him a bunch, but he ultimately didn't. He wasn't able to sack him or anything like that. So I don't really have anything negative to say about Caleb in this one. I just wish he was a bit more accurate, but I think that'll come with time.
Absolutely.
I did want to ask though, for your thoughts, Tyler. How do you think Ozzie Trapillo has fared in his first few games as a starting left tackle? Because excellent. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay,
he has been excellent. You can never have too many offensive linemen because of the injuries, but because Theo Benedict was our starting left tackle for the majority of this season because Braxton Jones has been on IR for like the whole year.
Right, yeah.
Braxton Jones has pretty much lost his spot, but like I was just saying, you can't really have too many O linemen, so he'll probably stay on the roster. But Trapillo and Benedict have both been so good at left tackle, but Trapillo, he's only played, I think, 2 or 3 games so far. He is, in the 2 or 3 games he's played, he's been better than Benedict. But Benedict's been good too. But yeah, to answer your question, Ozzie's been excellent.
Now, and with that being said, in terms of how his development has fared, because I know also like the first part of the year, for the first like 10 games or so, he was more used as like an extra tackle or extra lineman for certain plays. Can this guy be the future can he be the future left tackle for this team? And does he have all pro potential? Kind of just like how his measurables and how he's fared against the guys like TJ Watt and even Micah Parsons throughout the first few games as a starter.
Yeah, I think he definitely should be the left tackle for the future. I don't know if I can say he'll be a Pro Bowler because it's only been like a limited sample size so far. But like you said, he held his own against TJ Watt and Micah Parsons. So far he's done really, really good. If he can continue to do this, and of course he could be a Pro Bowler. I honestly, our whole offensive line I could talk about for like 10 minutes. Like it's been so much better. I don't think I've ever seen a Bears O-line go from being so bad last year, one of the worst last year, to being one of the best in the league this year. Like Darnell Wright, like you said, Ozzie Trapillo, just all of them. Joe Tooney, he brings a dynasty with him everywhere he goes. New England, Kansas City, he's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, Drew Dahlman, from Atlanta, we signed him. I think that was a very underrated signing. Jonah Jackson, when he was with the Rams, he always was a guy that kind of got the injury bug. But this year, he's been very, very good. He hasn't been hurt the whole year. Our whole all-line's been very, very good. And I think at the start of the game against Green Bay, I think they came out a little bit slow. They struggled a little bit because Caleb was getting pressured a lot. But it is Micah Parsons. But throughout the game, I think it definitely got better. And, I mean, as Bears fans, I think we expected it to be – at the start of the year, every Bears fan pretty much expected, like, everything to be 100% team chemistry the first snap against Minnesota on week 1. And that's not going to always happen, right? We have four new linemen. It's going to take a while for them to all get adjusted to playing with each other. And Ozzie, he's only played 2 or 3 games next to Tooney and Dahlman and Jonah and Darnell. So the more reps he gets under him, I think he's going to be even better. And Pro Bowler, maybe. I hope so. I think Darnell Wright should be a Pro Bowler. But
Oh, definitely for sure.
But yeah, Ozzie's been very, very good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is, or Ben, I'm sorry, before I go, do you have any thoughts?
No, you all good. I don't have anything to say.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured that was the case once you didn't go. This play is interesting to me. That there's a lot I've seen, like Tyler said, I actually do follow quite a few of like Bears media, and like I see a lot of stuff now because I've been following the Bears all year. Like, I've been, like I said to you guys before, I said everyone told me I was crazy when I said the Bears are gonna make the playoffs. Everyone called me nuts. So, this is, when you get a new coach and you get a guy who knows how to put a quarterback in winning positions, and not even just quarterbacks. Ben Johnson keeps putting wide receivers and tight ends and running backs in positions to win. And like you said, part of the offensive line too as well. Remember, they're becoming more advanced. So Ben Johnson went from, one elite skill group to another elite skill group. And I think the difference between now you're seeing with the Lions and now with the Bears offensive line cohesively has looked just as good as Detroit's. And remember, play design is a big thing. A lot of people don't understand that. Play design is huge. And that also means you can't just set up your offensive line to consistently just go in there and be like, oh, like, just go forward and block the guy in front of you. You see a lot of play designs, interesting ones, second level blocks, and all these other types of different pickups, because defensive lines like to run cross. They like to run cross from 3 to 5 when it comes to technique. Sometimes I like to stretch out. Some other teams like to cross between. Myles Garrett is a guy who likes to go inside and out, right? You see him all over the place on the line. So when you go up against a team like the Packers, who likes to run a lot of those same looks, especially with Micah Parsons involved, right? A guy like Micah Parsons, he can play inside, up above the line, or he can play on the line, outside on both sides, sometimes even inside going out. So I think the biggest thing is, combating that this year. Ben Johnson's did a great job. And on this last play, I don't think this is Caleb Williams' fault. I think you do a good job of obviously moving the guy in motion to signal here just to see, for Caleb Williams' sake, what's going on. And it's a zone, obviously, from right there. It's clearly a zone. And then it breaks out here, and they're confused. They have no idea what's going on. They're just concerned right now about Swift and getting outside because Caleb Williams has drifted this way. You get everybody to go this way, and it's almost like a tight end angle, this play here. If you see Komet at the bottom, or no, this is Komet, I'm sorry. If you see here, this is almost like a tight end angle, and I think that's Colston Loveland. And if it's not, I can't remember who his name is. It's almost like Komet, he sneaks out here. But remember, if you guys remember, the Bears have run this play in the red zone a lot this year. I've seen this play a lot. When I saw this, the first thing I said was touchdown. And what a lot of people said was DJ Moore is open about right here. He's not. To be truthfully honest with you, he's just not open. And you have to score on this play. And I think that here he's already made his decision. It's already there. And could he have waited? Could he have given a pump fake to probably get DJ Moore open? DJ Moore probably would have maybe gone to the pylon here. I think already with his head down, kind of here in this situation, assessing what's going on in front of him and still assessing that way through the play, I don't blame this completely on Caleb Williams because he made the right read. What I blame him for is the pass. It just hangs. And Nixon knew. He saw that play on film because I've seen the Bears run this play in the red zone quite a few times. And they like to run on this side anyways, play action a lot throughout the season. And I think this is just Keyshawn Nixon making a great play, dude. Like, really honestly, like, yeah, you can say he kind of left it to hang out to dry there. But I think, like I said, he's kind of already made up his mind, which is the right read. And you got to throw it here if you're going to throw a pass like that. This is a timing thing. Even if he doesn't listen, even if he's not near the goal line, you lead him into this pass. If you're going to throw it that soft, Nixon is already, it looks like, a yard and a half behind. That's enough separation at this point. And I just think, or you throw it here. 1, 2, 3 yards of separation.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I'd say you can fault Caleb Williams for on this play. And I don't think that this game, and also running to your left like this, he probably should have stopped and planted at some point. Like I think he could have stopped and planted right here. He could have just stopped, set his base, and just fired one. And if he didn't want to do that because of the traffic, he could have probably pump faked and then thrown it, at least at this position. But Nixon has already made his move, which is another thing too, what people don't realize. His head's not even turned here. So regardless, no matter what, you have to get the ball out in this situation. About like there. 3 yards difference. And no one's paying attention behind. No one. Quay Walker's not even looking. If Quay Walker was smart, he would have seen, oh, 2 here, 1 in the middle, 1 here. Like, if he was smart enough, he would have just drifted. But he wasn't. And I think Caleb Williams had to have taken advantage of that. And you throw a blooper and you just give Nixon time to get under it. And that's the game. You know, I think that's obviously, like you said before, you've seen a lot of the development with Drake May. And I think that this is something Drake May has done well all year is decision making and timing. And Josh McDaniels, and the fact that he sees him already, you know, it's a learning experience. It's only a second year. It's a learning experience. But yeah, I just felt like that was a good play to show, just to showcase that, you know, if this Bears team wants to go deep enough, right? And this Bears team wants to continue to do these types of things, you know, Caleb Williams has to make those plays in those situations. He has to. He doesn't have a choice. But, you know, as far as the rest of the game, you know, if you guys have any final thoughts, I thought this was obviously the second best game of the week, in my personal opinion. But if you guys have any more thoughts, I'd love to hear.
I had the game in my background when I was doing some stuff on Sunday. I kept looking over to see what the game would be. Honestly, from what I've seen, it was a pretty good game overall for both teams. But I think that play is just game costly, which it was.
Absolutely.
But it was a good game overall for both teams.
Yeah, it I wouldn't say it completely cost them the game because, like Tyler said, you know, they came out pretty lethargic on offense to start, you know, kind of start the game. But you know, that's a play I'm sure Caleb Williams wishes he has back. I'm sure he does, and I can't say it's fully his fault because, you know, I also felt like DJ Moore could have stopped and tried to make another play or done something different, but you know, in that situation, it was all designed to get the top route open, which it got there. And you know, that's the beauty of Ben Johnson and what he does offensively. So next game. Unless anyone else have any more thoughts? Tyler, you have any more thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I have like 1 or 2 more things I could just talk about really quick.
Talk to me.
Another thing that I'm really happy with that I think kind of gets overlooked and I haven't really seen people talk about too much is how much better the clock management has been this year compared to last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember the Thanksgiving game last year. That's the game that got Ethan fired.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just one of many examples of how trash the clock management was. So that's something that I think Bears fans should be happy with from this season compared to last. And then another thing, just really quick, because I know I've been talking a lot.
Now it's your team. That's you got the floor, brother.
Yeah. even though we did drop from first in the NFC all the way down to 7th, which is crazy, but even though that did happen, Green Bay, they play in Denver next week, and what was that?
I said, yep, yep.
Yeah, so they play in Denver next week, which is definitely a game they could lose. And we play Cleveland at home in Chicago. So if we win and they lose, if Denver can handle their business and we can handle ours, we're right back in the lead in the NFC North. And then, it shifts back to week 16 in Chicago. We go up against Green Bay again. And like I said earlier, that game is probably going to be even bigger than the one we just seen on Sunday. So there's still a lot of things to look forward to for the Bears. And I think we'll be able to reclaim that spot next week at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still got faith in the Bears, like I said. This doesn't scare me, dude. It's the Packers. You gotta do what you gotta do. And this game, it's against a good team. A team that, a lot of people thought once they got Micah Parsons, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this is okay. It came down to one last play. That's where you want to be as a Bears fan. And then looking forward to, as well, like you said, going into the next game. It'll be a learning lesson. And Ben Johnson will draw up some plays, and I got confidence the Bears will win the next one for sure. But this game, not much to say. Honestly, all I gotta say about this next one, Kyler Murray is not gonna be a Cardinal next year. I'm gonna stand on that shit. The Rams beat the Cardinals 45-17. I mean, dude. What is there to say other than Matt Stafford's the MVP? Puka Nacua is the best wide receiver in the NFL besides JSN. And Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams. And Kyron Williams is the most underrated running back in the entire NFL. Other than that, that's all. I don't really have much to say. Like, this game, it sucked. I didn't like watching it because it was a straight blowout. The Cardinals had no fucking chance from start to finish. But, in terms of the Rams, how do you feel about this game? What do you consider it a bounce back, or does it not move you after losing last week to the Panthers?
Nah, it's honestly this is a get right game for them. They should have once they actually stepped on the field, they won the game. Everybody actually running out of the tunnel was stepping onto the field right before kickoff would just shows that they would have won the game anyway. Honestly, like, again, this Cardinals team naturally has talent, but they're a quarterback away from actually really contending. They have the right pieces on defense. They have the right pieces on offense. Jacoby Brissett is a good bridge quarterback, but until they get an actual stud, most likely in the draft, again, maybe a Fernando Mendoza, they're not, they're not going to go anywhere until they have that game changer at quarterback.
That would actually be a beautiful situation. Wow. Yo, killing it.
No, I'm telling you.
That would be a beautiful situation for Mendoza.
There's literally 3 teams, because obviously if the Giants have the number 1 pick, there's 3 teams that could trade a good amount of capital, maybe even a player, to get that. If I'm the Cardinals, and mind you, this is the perfect situation because you have Paris Johnson at left tackle and some of the offensive linemen who are high. You can improve there too, but you have a decent offensive line. You have two. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Trey McBride, but you have Michael Wilson, who's finally getting unlocked because they have a fucking quarterback to actually throw him the ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you get a quarterback like Mendoza and develop him correctly, this offense is going to be unlocked even more, especially going way down the field with his arm talent. That's what you need right there. Now, that's for the Cardinals' sake. For the Rams, we already know what the Rams can do. That's the best team right there. So as much as the Cardinals could have tried to do, they weren't gonna win the game anyhow.
Right.
That Rams team is just too nasty. So, but I tell you, man, the way how Michael Wilson has been playing lately, because Jacoby Brissett actually can get him the fucking ball, it just shows you that there's a good young duo in Marvin Harrison and Wilson, along with Trey McBride. You just need a quarterback. You're just one quarterback away from actually contending.
And James Conner comes back.
And if James Conner comes back, and if Trey Benson comes back healthy as well, like, they'll
both be healthy to start the year. Yeah, honestly, looking back on what we said before, I think the Fernando Mendoza, that's a great take. Like, it's already set up enough to a point,
exactly,
where you shit, like, you got 2 running backs who are good running backs, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is young and he's having a better season than he was his rookie year. You know, and Kyler Murray is a question mark. Jacoby Brissett is still a question mark, even though he set the record for most completions. What the fuck else are you going to do? You weren't going to give the ball to what's his name, Michael Carter, the whole game. You know, so
Exactly.
just let him go out there and throw 65 passes or whatever it was, 62 passes. Like, let him
Right.
go out there and do it.
Right.
And he showed, setting the record. Like, you know, Jacoby Brissett has showed continuously he still belongs in the NFL.
Exactly.
We saw it when he played for the Patriots when Tom Brady was out and Jimmy Garoppolo went down.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy who can win games. This is the guy who can throw the rock. And yeah, does he sometimes escape the pocket a little prematurely sometimes? Yes. I know that we have seen that a lot, but we've seen when he's trusted his arm, how far he can go. And you know, this might be the worst supporting cast Jacoby Brissett's had that he's played with, and he set an NFL record. It might be just because everybody's banged up and injured. So, you know, and Mendoza would be perfect for someone to set behind him to learn from. Because quite frankly, the Cardinals, yo, it's time. Kyler Murray gotta go. Go let him join FaZe. Go let him be a pro gamer. Or send his ass back to the MLB. For all I care. For all I care. He should have stayed with baseball. He should have stuck with baseball. That's just what it is. It's very clear Kyler Murray probably would have been a better baseball player than a football player. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, if we're talking about a guy who went undefeated his whole entire high school career and was absolutely did he not win a Heisman? Hold on.
I think he did. I think he won the Heisman.
I swear he won a Heisman.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He won the Heisman in 2018, which mind you, if you want to go back and look at this 2018 draft, excuse me. This is the draft class that had Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, bro. Like, we're not talking about a shitty draft. We're not talking about a draft where overall, okay, he was just clear-cut the best guy. You had Saquon Barkley, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Roquan Smith, Mike McGlinchey, Minka Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea, Deron Payne, Marcus Davenport, Colton Miller, Tremaine Edmonds, Derwin James, Jair Alexander, Leighton Vander Esch, Frank Ragnow, Rashawn Evans, Isaiah Wynn, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Rashad Penny, Terrell Edmonds, like Sony Michel. Dog, we're talking about arguably, in terms of just player success, this might be the greatest draft in NFL history. And he won the Heisman in potentially the greatest draft in NFL history. And he hasn't been able to replicate what he's done in college or replicate what he's done in high school, not once in this league. Somehow, some way, we have to start blaming Kyler Murray. We can't just keep blaming it on the Cardinals, who have spent money and set him up year in, year out. And mind you, Cliff Kingsbury wasn't the greatest head coach. He wasn't. But he's one of the most elite offensive minds in the game. And you look at Kyler Murray's career stats, just to give you guys, obviously, for anyone watching, shout out to Instagram. Y'all are going crazy, honestly. I keep checking that. Thank you, guys. Y'all going crazy for me every week on Instagram. We love it. Thank you, guys. For anyone on YouTube, thank you so much. I see the rejoins and the joins each time you guys join in. So, you know, it's just alarming to me. This is a guy who's put up damn near 4,000 yard seasons, right? Which you could say, and you could really say, his first 3 seasons he didn't even really have enough of a supporting cast, other than the year when he had D-Hop. And that offense was crazy. And if you look at that 2020 Cardinals roster, right? I mean, Buda Baker, a bunch of these, like Christian Kirk, D-Hop, Andy Isabella had a great season. You know, they had Kenyon Drake, who was still good at the time, almost in 1,000-yard season. Larry Fitzgerald, even though he was not the Larry Fitzgerald we all know, he was still good enough to be an impact player to take a lesser role and still had 400 yards.
Right.
You know, he had 50. He was second in the team in receptions while also having 402 yards. That indicates to me he was obviously still good enough. And Christian Kirk, you know, you look at a situation like Christian Kirk too, right? A guy who he was also a good football player for this team. And I think that the biggest thing is, you know, Larry Fitzgerald was obviously his leading wide receiver this year. Christian Kirk, 700. Mind you, Christian Kirk got a brand new contract off of this fucking Eagles team. I mean, Eagles team, Cardinals team. Two birds at once. Sorry. Trying to kill two birds with one stone here. You know, Demir Bird, who the Patriots had, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A guy who, honestly, Demir Bird wasn't even bad on the Pats, but he went to go thrive for the Cardinals because the Pats, I don't think they gave Demir Bird enough of a chance. I thought he could have been like Keyshawn Butte, like kind of that type of player, but you know, to each their own when it comes to him. But you know, Kenyon Drake, you know, David Johnson was hurt. Kenyon Drake was hurt this season, and he still managed to put up 3,700 yards. You know, and you know, 2018 regular season, it was Josh Rosen, a guy who really could never do much. And I look at this 2021 regular season too. Christian Kirk, exceptional season. You know, 982 yards. And then they had AJ Green, and they had Zach Ertz, and they had DeAndre Hopkins, and they had Rondale Moore, James Conner, Chase Edmonds. Bro, speed, size, athleticism. And this is what he did with it. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, he should have had 4,500 yards in this offense. He should have. There was no excuse. You are this talented guy. You're a Heisman winner. You went undefeated in high school. You sat there in a press conference, buddy, and listed all your fucking accomplishments, didn't you? Didn't you? All your non-NFL accomplishments, didn't you? Well, guess what? That shit don't work here. No one gives a shit what you did in high school. No one gives a fuck what you did in college either, quite frankly, but you won a Heisman, so that's why they care enough, because you were the best player in college. That's not a small feat to win. And yes, you could say it's a quarterback award. Yes, you could say it's an offensive skill player award, but we've seen plenty of defensive players go in there and make a case. This is college football. This is not the NFL. This is where sometimes you go up against guys who are going to work at fucking FedEx for the rest of their life. Straight up. You did that then. You in the NFL, if you need to play up to the level of competition, and we know what you did above of it, but at the same time, you know, I just don't think Kyler Murray is going to be a Cardinal next year. I think the fact that they sat him is to see how much they could possibly go through this situation with Jacoby Brissett, and if they could tank, to be quite real with you. You know, and even they're saying 2 days ago on ESPN, Murray might never play for the Cardinals again. We made that decision. It was honestly me and Nero. We were on here before Tyler had joined for his first time. Me, Nero, and Ben were sitting here saying he's not going to be a Cardinal. This was like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So ESPN's a little late to the party. Why do you think we do what we do, guys? We watch just as much as they do. We pay attention just as much as they do.
I think that report is for the season, but the point still stands.
No, it says Murray might never play for the Cardinals again. That's what we're reading right here.
With the team treating him like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson a couple of seasons ago.
It's just it's the reality that we all came to conclusion 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
ESPN's a little late to the party because they got to be a little bit more political. We don't have to be as political. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, we can we still have leg room while we can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, you know, you look at these NCAA stats too, right? I mean, bro, this is a guy who he didn't even play in 2016. If you guys remember, he didn't even play. And then 2017, he came along. In Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Jalen Hurts, was it?
No, it was Baker Mayfield.
Okay, that's why. I'm like, wait. Okay, so I'm like, somebody who's in the NFL now was playing ahead of him. That's why he didn't play. And then 2018, he broke out and went crazy and had 5,000 plus total yards and had 54 touchdowns. That's fucking insane. 54. I don't know if people understand, anybody who watches college football or doesn't watch college football. 54, 55 touchdowns is an insane feat. I don't care what position you play, whether it's running back, wide receiver, quarterback. That's extremely hard to do. With the interception and with the turnover ratio and interception ratio being 50, I think it's 54-7. Unreal. And it's sad that, I'm not downplaying Baker Mayfield, but if we're talking about just pure talent, Baker Mayfield has done more in the NFL. He has 4 3,000-yard seasons and 2 4,000-yard seasons. And not to mention, he's led teams to the playoffs on 3 separate occasions. And if you ask me, when you finally gave him an offensive talent caliber to the 2021 Cardinals, what did he do? He went to the playoffs. Mind you, he lost to Jaden Daniels, which is fine, though, because honestly, the Commanders just went on a run.
Right.
And they didn't even have Deebo Samuel. So we don't even know what would have happened this year. And, looking at that situation, I think, Kyler Murray, you are no longer an Arizona Cardinal, brother. I'm sorry. It's over with. You might need to go join Phase with Bronny and Plaqueboy. Well, Plaqueboy Max is not in that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Phase Adapt, Stable Ronaldo. You might have to go be a comedy guy because it's not working out for you, man. It's just not. Yeah. How do you feel about Kyler Murray, Tyler?
I don't know, man. I hope that new Call of Duty's been pretty good. Been treating him well.
It's actually ass.
Oh, is it? See,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty, so I wouldn't know. But I know that
Yeah.
he's a big
You're
Call
saving
of Duty
yourself
fan.
the trouble.
Yeah.
You're saving yourself the trouble. We got to stick to Madden out here in the
Yeah.
occasional 2K.
Yeah. I do kind of have a question for you guys, though, not about Kyler Murray, but about, do you guys think that their coach, Jonathan Gannon, is on the hot seat? Do you think they need to, look for a new leader next year?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Ben answered. Go ahead, Ben. I'll let you go because I'm not
No,
sure.
I was about to say I can let you answer, but my answer is no. I don't think he should be on the hot seat whatsoever.
Honestly, at most, it's tough with the Cardinals because the only thing that's really holding them back is Kyler Murray. That's really what it was, though. A good, like, if you really watch them, they have the pieces around. Like I mentioned, it's just
I think
the
defensive
quarterback
injuries
position.
too, though.
And defensive injuries too.
Because
also
remember,
kind of hurt
they
them,
had
yeah.
J.J. Watt. They had J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Buda Baker, Tremaine Edmonds. Like, right? No. Yeah. Because that team was crazy. That defense was insane, and they all got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler Jones went down. J.J. Watt went down. Buda Baker was like the only nigga left standing.
Yeah.
I think, yes, Kyler Murray has held him back, right? But I think the injuries is what happened to the Cardinals the most. And they're smart for not paying Christian Kirk that money. Look at what Christian Kirk has done after he's left the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They're smart for not paying him that money. But yeah, my fault there. I just wanted to obviously
you're good.
refresh their minds. Like, injury honestly has been the Cardinals' biggest obstacle, and coaching. I think Kyler Murray has been the overall biggest problem in terms of the most consistent problem.
Mm.
And I think that the second biggest problem has been injuries. So,
no, that's fair. Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree with that too. I would say, like, in order for, if I wouldn't fire Gannon yet because there's a lot of potential still with that team. Like, now we finally see what a guy who can actually spread the ball around, actually throw the ball to his receivers can actually look like. Now, if you draft a quarterback, right, and it doesn't necessarily fare well, then maybe you might want to go a different route with the coaching. But I think Jonathan Gannon, in terms of where he has his team now in a new leadership role, and they're improving every week in a sense, and they're also somewhat losing to get a good draft pick. I think he's still fine, but at most, I would probably, if anything, next year he probably gets fired after next year. If next year's season doesn't, kind of gets worse from this season. If they don't really kind of take a step forward and win a few more games, let's say if they can only win 3 or 4 games instead of winning maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7 games, then he'll probably get fired.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think my final answer would be no. I mean, like Nero just said, and like I said too, there's been a lot of factors so far, especially this season. Benson gets hurt. Connor gets hurt. Marv Harrison Jr. gets hurt to a certain point. I think this year he got hurt. I feel like Trey McBride was out a couple weeks too, if I'm not mistaken.
You are mistaken. I don't think he was injured.
I feel like let me look at it. Let me just be sure, because I feel like
Marvin Harrison was out for a few weeks with appendicitis.
I feel like McBride was dealing with an injury.
I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it's not.
But other than that being the case, I get it. Kyler Murray's been out. You know what I mean? He's at medium risk though, so he must have been dealing with something. Yeah, he was in concussion protocol to start the year.
Oh, yeah.
So
probably.
I'm I knew he was on an injury report for something that was decently enough serious, to affect him, throughout it. But cranial concussion, grade 1, not too crazy. But then again, he was dealing with, kind of dealing with that concussion. He probably has been dealing with it for a little bit, not for obviously the whole duration of the season. But to start the year with a cranial concussion, obviously, it's kind of tough. And I think the biggest thing too is that, James Conner's not there. That's really what it is. Marvin Harrison had a heel injury. Benson, knee issue. Max Melton, heel injury. Taylor Demerson, ankle injury. Walter Nolan, knee injury. Christian Jones, knee injury. Paris Johnson Jr., who was big for them, an MCL injury. Amari DiMercado, hey, shout out to his parents. Ankle. You know what I mean? It's been an influx. And I think Gannon deserves a little bit more leeway. And if you get Francisco Mendoza, like you said, which I thought was a beautiful point by Nero, you get Mendoza, and hey, anything might be possible, especially if you let go of Kyler Murray. Trade Kyler Murray to trade up. What do you got to lose? He hasn't gotten you to where you want him to be at this point. Not that you should send him to the Browns. Trade him for Shador. How about that? Trade him for Shador. Put Shador in that Cardinals offense with Trey McBride and Marv Harrison. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking shit. But
no, that would be crazy too. That would be he would definitely be a good fit over there too.
Yep. Give Kevin Stefanski somebody else, because clearly he hates this kid. I don't care what anyone says at this point. I'm tired of arguing with people about it. Bro, he clearly obviously can't stand this kid for whatever fucking reason. I don't know what it is, but Kevin Stefanski should have lost his job 2 years ago.
I feel like we say this every fucking recording, live, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, because he should have been started Shador Sanders at the beginning of the fucking season. But that's what we'll get into right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kevin Stefanski, you're a dickhead. Fucking asshole. Kevin Stefanski, you're a dick. You're a straight up asshole, bro. I don't care what people say about you. I don't care. Oh, Kevin Stefanski made the playoffs twice. Oh, my pussy hurts. Well, Baker Mayfield's not here anymore. And you should have been started Shador Sanders. And mind you, Dylan Gabriel hasn't had a 300-yard game this year. Drake May hasn't had a 300-yard game this year. So this whole story that he doesn't belong is that everybody... I just want the applause to be just as loud as the disrespect you gave this poor man. I just want that to be known, because not only have we seen Shador Sanders go out there and absolutely torch an NFL defense, he did that shit with ease on a shit team. I just don't understand where it's going to stop when it comes to him. And mind you, Cam Ward is also fucking awesome. Cam Ward is fucking amazing, dude. This kid is awesome. He's got less offensive talent than Shador does on the other end, and he won this game against an elite defense. I got to give more props to Cam Ward than Shador in this situation, to be honest with you. Cam Ward is the clear-cut number one player of the future of the NFL of this draft, this recent draft.
Yeah.
You know, you could say what you want about Jackson Dart. That's cool, but Cam Ward is the guy right now.
Are we talking in terms of QB or any position player?
Just any position.
Okay.
Like Cam Ward, you know, you go out and look at his game. These two are the quarterbacks of the future of this generation. It's just obvious. It's there. It's stamped. And then you look at Jackson Dart, who not far behind. Jackson Dart is not far behind at all. And he probably has the best receiver out of the three. So there's a chance, you know, Jackson Dart might surpass one of them next year, especially if they end up getting a guy like Jeremiah Love. You know, it depends on the situation. But then again, these three guys are out there making plays, wheeling and dealing. And before I get into a little film of Shador Sanders and Cam Ward, well, mostly probably Shador because he had obviously more opportunities to pass the ball. You already know. You feel me? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell
so, you know, how do you guys feel about this game, and what did you like the most out of these two quarterbacks from this game? And for the future, where do you see their ceilings and floors being?
One thing, Dylan Gabriel broke rule number 1. Never let them to the backup.
Nah, he broke rule number 1. Never let your bitch speak for you on TikTok, nigga.
That too. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, now look what happened. Yeah, you might not have a job anymore, bitch. Don't let your girl speak for you on TikTok in the comments. Everybody wants him to play in this building. Are you so sure now? You sure now?
Right.
This is why you gotta keep your bitch quiet. You're doing too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but to actually answer the question,
yeah.
For them going at it, I think this early in their career, I think might not this early because like we're like more than 2 months in at this point, 3 months in the season, but to got it for the first time in their career, like in the first year, I think that's great because we get to see like what the future NFL is going to be with these two. And like I've been saying, as the years go by, these two are just going to be generational. Maybe not generational, but like great. But like it's the face of the franchise. The names that talk about like these two guys, but you couldn't get. You were talking to someone about the NFL draft. These two never coming up. Like there was obviously because Ward came first and Childers was a big name going on the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But for the future, I think that's very exciting because you clearly see the abilities of these two on the field, even though they're not the best teams right now.
Right.
Schroeder is like what his third or fourth game. He already 350 yards in one game.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a lot of quarterback that have done it this year, and he does in his 4th carry game start. That tells a lot. I know it was against the Titans defense, but that doesn't matter. The skill is clearly there. And if you go on the other side, Cameron, I know he didn't have the best game. He had like 100 and something yards, but the skill is there also. You can move, you can throw the ball, and you can do everything. Like these two are going to be great for the franchise for years to come.
No, I agree. I think you know, you look at this game again. This was a game that, you know, two buddies, two guys who naturally have the same QB coach, in the offseason. They match up against each other. They know each other, but they're not physically playing each other because when one's out there, the other's on the bench, right? You know, it's one of these things that you're seeing what could have been. You know, you're seeing also that you have, again, two buddies, but both are competitive, both know each other, and both, you know, even at the end of the game, whether it was win or loss, they were going to go support each other, say, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 keep it going. You know, this just shows you that all the hate that was talked about at the start of the draft on who was going to go number one, was it going to be Cam Ward, was it going to be Shedeur Sanders? They didn't let that affect them because Cam Ward went number one. I don't see Shedeur talking shit. If Shedeur would have went number one, I don't think Cam Ward would have been talking shit about it. You know what I'm saying? They don't hate each other. They got love for each other. They're both in situations right now where Cam Ward got the opportunity at the start. It's not pretty, but hey, he hasn't missed a game. He's still healthy. He's doing everything he can to try to win games, but obviously this team sucks that for right now, he can just show you guys glimpses of what he can do in the future with an actual team presented to him. Shedeur Sanders took a while to get into that position, but you look at him now, everybody in Cleveland right now, even in the loss, are still putting their wrist up. You feel me?
Mhm.
That's the point of having hope. Cam Ward's in a situation where his coach got fired, right? They're going to figure out next year who can coach him. You got a guy who's coaching Shedeur Sanders, who has coached 3 quarterbacks this year, and even on the 3rd quarterback, still doesn't fucking believe in Shedeur Sanders. And that's his last option. Taking him off the field when, you know, to put to go Wildcat for a 2-point conversion where you're trying to win a game, right? You're trying to tie a game up. Why take your quarterback off the field? So their situations right now are similar but different because you have one franchise that believes in you, but then you have your other franchise, Shedeur's franchise, that, oh, some of us believe in him, but not all of us believe in him. Some people in the building, like Andrew Berry, who wanted him on the team, drafted him, believes in him, but his head coach don't believe in him. He believes in the guy that he wanted that they drafted in the 3rd round, right? Regardless, what we see is 2 guys that have the talent to actually be NFL quarterbacks and actually have the talent to take a leap to within a few years might be looked at, oh shit, these guys are the ones. You know what I'm saying? When Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, such and such are out of here, those are the guys that you're going to look at from years to come. Like, okay, these are the guys probably going to compete to try to win the Super Bowl, get into the playoffs and whatnot. So in terms of ceilings, Cam Ward I would say has the higher ceiling because with his ability and with his arm talent, he can look like what Patrick Mahomes has already shown us. But Cam Ward has a little more spice, little more what's the word I want to say? Little more there's a word for it. There's a kind of laid back style of play.
He just got, I feel like him, like Shedeur, like personality, like he just got more moxie. Like he's just more like Cam Ward's a little bit more quiet. You know what I mean? And they're both humble guys. They're both such exceptionally well-raised young adult men. Exceptionally well-raised. You know, and I think, you know, very honest guys about their situations. You know, and Cam Ward came out and said it before. He's like, we ass. There ain't nothing. He's like, we're going to do our best this year, but we ass.
Right.
We need to get better. That's it. I'm not going to say, he's like, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you what you want to hear. We're not good, and we need to get better. And I think Shedeur Sanders, his situation is just different than Cam Ward because they didn't give him the keys right away.
Right.
Cam Ward got the keys right away from the jump. And I think that, you know, that's a situation you look at and you say, hey, you know, can we just let these guys go out there and be themselves? You know, more so Shedeur than Cam Ward. But I've seen a lot of Cam Ward hate. And why? It doesn't make sense. He's on a bad team. They're both not on good offenses. I seen both of them this week going up against each other, knowing how important this game was. Yo, it's giving me I think obviously Brady Manning vibes is too premature.
Right.
But it's giving me like Big Ben, Andy Dalton vibes.
Mhm.
Like year
I
in
like
year,
that. I like that.
you know what I'm saying? Like just two guys who, coming together, like playing a great football game every year. Like we don't know what these guys, we can't compare them to Brady and Manning nowhere near yet at all. But to keep it obviously more to the sake of what it is, like Big Ben versus Andy, or who was the Eagles quarterback? It was Drew Brees and what's his face?
Um, um,
Fuck. So I know I'm
for
getting old, dog. Um, Drew Brees and somebody else. What if the Eagles quarterback? I can't remember. Like that type of thing, or you know,
check.
Brett
Nick
Favre and
Foles.
Drew Brees.
Mhm.
Huh?
No, I was gonna say Donovan McNabb, Nick Foles. That was type Michael Vick.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb, like Drew Brees,
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb, like those types of matchups. Like
Yeah.
it gave me the vibe that we're getting into another rivalry, a QB rivalry.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's missing in the NFL besides Mahomes and Allen. Mahomes and Allen is the only one you could think of year in, year out, since they've both kind of been in the league as starters. And even you could say, well, you couldn't say Brady Mahomes because Brady's not in the league anymore, but at the beginning of Mahomes' career, it was Mahomes, Brady, Mahomes, Allen. It was, you can't even put Jared Goff in that conversation. You could put Matthew Stafford probably in the conversation with going up against, I guess you could say, no. See, you see how hard it is, but you get what I'm saying. You get
No,
the
yeah,
gist.
yeah.
You get the gist. And that's what this game gave me the vibe of, that this matchup for years to come, they're going to be on each other's schedule every year for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Because these two just put on a show. And I'm just happy for the direction that this is going in with the QB rivalry with this. But as far as, those two, what did you guys like the most out of both? I've said my piece on that. I'm sorry to cut you off now, but
No, you're
what
good.
did you
You're good.
like the most from each of those guys?
Honestly, I like that they actually, even though Cam Ward, didn't have 300 yards, he only had about a 117, I believe. At least both guys can actually show that they can throw the ball effortlessly. When guys are open, you're going to get the ball. If he sees you, if they see you, you're going to get the ball. Jerry Jeudy and Shador finally had a connection. Finally, and you see Cam Ward, even though he didn't have to do too much, he was able to get Shimmer DK the ball. He was able to get Alec Almaner the ball. At least them actually being able to get their receivers the ball, they were able to show that. I think I would say also that I can honestly say that for both teams, both quarterbacks, and even though Cam Ward has obviously had his starting job longer, you also kind of see like week in and week out, there's more comfortability. Even when a lot of the games are shit shows for the Titans, at least you can kind of show that on offense, there's a little more week after week. There's still more, the guy there. He's more comfortable than what he was the week before. You know what I'm saying? Shador now from when he went in there against Baltimore in a shitty situation with no reps with the ones, week after week after week, he's doing it every week. It's improvement on running plays, getting guys involved. That's what I'd like to see. I guess I could say I like that both guys. You can see now that okay, now they're getting comfortable actually stepping on an NFL field and trying to do what they got to do. So I would say that, yeah.
Absolutely. Ben, Tyler, what did you guys like from both of these quarterbacks this weekend? How do you think going forward that they can improve from here on out?
I think I've said kind of my answer with my last response, but obviously they're just gonna improve from here in the years to come. I think the thing I don't know if that's right, but the thing that Sanders needs to improve because he's a good mover, he's a good passer, he can run. Might be his vision. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I've been noticing a little bit. And for Ward, it just I think again vision and probably moving a little bit more in the pocket because with that all line you're not doing shit at this point.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Sanders has, even when we look at a little bit of the film here for a second, he is he holds on to the ball too much. I think he's like, oh shit, he's open, and then he throws it, and he has the arm talent to get it there. But like you said, like, Cam Ward's anticipation has been there. He's been playing all season, so that is definitely a big factor for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I like that you said that for sure.
Tyler?
Yeah, as far as like what they both need to work on, I don't really have too much to add after like what you guys just said. But the thing that I like the most about Shadur from this game is I like how I'm able to see the growing connections that he has with his teammates. Like he and Fannin, that's a real like duo now. Like Fannin had a big time game against Tennessee, and I would like to see him become more like Shadur's security blanket, some guy that he can rely on to always move the chains. And then even a guy like Jerry Judy, I think he's growing his relationship with him as well. Now Cam Ward, he doesn't really have that luxury to even have a guy like them because his roster is even worse than what Cleveland's is. So once he
Absolutely.
gets some help, so once he gets some help, once he gets some better offensive weapons around him, I think he'll have those same type of connections that Shadur is having with his guys.
Absolutely, yo. Round of applause. Yo, you guys are killing it. No bullshit. I'm glad that like everybody has good points to bring up. We're not all saying the same thing. That Harold Fannin, yo, I completely forgot. Like, glad you brought that up, bro, because it's very clear Harold Fannin trusts Shador Sanders, and he
Yeah.
trusts that, you know what? If I put myself in the right position, he's going to get me the ball. And like you said, Harold Fannin had his biggest game of the year with Shador Sanders out there. And listen, I'm not here to shit on on Dylan Gabriel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to shit on him. I'm really not. What I am here, though, to do is keep it real. And just like you guys said, our slogan might be "Let's get negative." You know what I'm saying? But we also got another one. It's "Let's get after it." You know what I mean? Like, I think Dylan Gabriel showed enough to be serviceable in the moments he was given. Because remember, Shador Sanders was never not going to play this year.
He was going to play at some point, yeah.
And the only reason why we know that as watch ball, like Ben just said, right? He was going to play at some point is because we didn't believe in Dylan Gabriel.
Right.
If we believed in Dylan Gabriel, we wouldn't be sitting here and we would have never saw this game. But because we don't believe in Dylan Gabriel, we saw this game. And what more and the fact that it took this long for Kevin Stefanski to lose his job, bro, if you felt like you had nothing to fucking lose, you should have just did this 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. You should have just did this 4 weeks ago. Because like I said, Dylan Gabriel, cool, he was drafted before Shador, but we know in the NFL the best quarterback of all time is a 7th rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. A 7th rounder. How many first-round picks have we seen flame out in the NFL? I know me and Nero, we've seen a bunch.
Yeah.
We're 25, dog. We've seen enough. We've seen plenty of guys we saw in call. For example, he just brought up a great name earlier, and I'm glad this is coming to light too. To give you an example, there's a man who was picked number 1 overall because he made one hit that everyone's going to remember forever.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I brought him up. Exactly why I brought him up.
Never lived up to the hype he was given off of one highlight.
Mm-hmm.
One.
Mm-hmm.
That one highlight, taking a nigga's helmet off, made him a 3rd round pick to a fucking first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he has not even lived up to nowhere near Reggie White. Fucking need I go down the list? Aaron Donald, JJ Watt, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett. I could keep going.
Yep. And all those guys weren't even picked number 1 overall.
And they weren't.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And this is why I say Shador even said it himself. I don't care where I'm drafted. When my moment comes, I'm going to be ready, and I have to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works in the NFL because injuries happen all the time.
Exactly.
And guys shitting the bed because of wrong situations happen all the time. And Shador made sure and his father and his family prepared him. And I guarantee you his father was saying behind private doors, they hate me, they're going to hate you automatically. They're not going to like the belief in yourself. They're going to hate it because they hated it in me. His dad already been through it. Not once has Shador come out there and said some arrogant shit. And he could have said, I've been the best quarterback this whole time.
Right.
He could have. And he proved it. So then if he had come out and said that, everybody would have crucified him. And then guess what? This game would have happened. And now, guess what? The kid was humble, and no one wants to give him his flowers. Let me give you a perfect example. Where was Dan Orlovsky and everybody else on ESPN the day after?
Nowhere.
Where were they? Conveniently, they missed the first week all season after shitting on Shador all season, saying he's not an NFL quarterback. Dan Orlovsky, Rex Ryan, where were you? You disrespected this kid on national TV on multiple occasions. You couldn't even give him his flowers to do whatever he could have came in here and done this upcoming week. And you were nowhere.
And honestly, there's only one guy
to be found.
Exactly. And guess what? There's only one guy who's believed in Shador Sanders for the last 8 months, and you barely see him on TV. You only see him at draft time. Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper's the only guy at ESPN that actually believed in Shador Sanders from day one, claiming he should have been a #1 pick. At least, whether it's not #1, he should have went top 5. He didn't go top 5, or I don't know why he's not picked. But whoever he gets picked by, it'll be one of the best decisions they ever made. And look what the Browns did. They didn't even want him. They were forced to take him. And look at him now. Now everybody in Cleveland's putting perfect timing up, right? All he needed to do was step on the field. Give him time, step on the field, let him grow, and look what he showed. I don't give a fuck if it was the Titans. He can say so far that in his first 4 starts, he can say that he was the first rookie in almost 30 years to win a game for the Browns as a starting quarterback, right? And he's the first rookie in this whole year to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns combined. And and Jackson Dart hasn't done that. Dylan Gabriel didn't do that. What other rookies fucking starting? Tyler Shuck, I'll give him a pass because Tyler Shuck just started. But even him, you got to put him in that.
Cam Ward, technically.
Excuse me. And I forgot about Cam Ward for a second. Cam Ward hasn't done that yet. So everybody want to be on Jackson Dart's meat and all that. Nigga, it's still perfect timing, nigga. It's still perfect timing in this bitch. And that's the real. Yeah, fight back. Fight back, nigga. Real shit.
Yep.
Everybody wanna be on the Shador Sanders train now, nigga. But you what? But you was clowning him and all this shit when he was down? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Not hearing it, nigga. Not hearing it. And quite frank, and I will say this because I'm also glad that Amari brought this up about a late round draft pick. That late round draft pick told Robert Kraft, "My name is Tom Brady, and I'm the best decision this franchise has ever made." Right? And he said that when he first met him. Right? Look what happened 20 years later. 6 rings with the franchise. Right? For a guy nobody wanted, nobody didn't believe in. His own fucking college coach didn't believe in. Come on, bro. Come on. Let a nigga step on the field and do what he got to do and show everybody. That shuts everybody up. That's it. Simple.
And that's the man who helped teach him. That's the craziest part.
Exactly.
And everyone can sit here and say, oh, well, Tom Brady didn't pick him. Well, guess what? The Raiders are in a whole different situation.
Yeah.
They're in a whole different situation to the point where Jacoby Myers is no longer on the team. Geno Smith can't do anything. They paid that man $80 million. So no matter how you look at it, Geno Smith was going to play no matter what. No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And already had Kenny Pickett. So the Browns were desperate. That's why they drafted 2 quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about? If the Browns were in a situation, and it boggles my mind, revisionist history doesn't exist to casual fans. It bothers me. There's people that go out and have podcasts and make these podcasts and talk about these situations, and they have no revisionist history of all of these things. I probably watched more hours of football in my life, than maybe anything else other than working my entire life.
No,
For
that's
real.
actually a fact. That's actually a fact. Yeah, me
I've
too.
probably played more hours of football and played more hours of sports and watched all of these sports and kept up with articles and coaches and GMs and owners. I've probably done that more than anything outside of working. Real shit. And it's time for people. You can't be a hater no more. And the problem is nobody's coming to this kid's defense now. And I hope and I pray he keeps doing these 300-yard games. I just keep hoping and praying he keeps doing this, because everybody who's like, oh, you're a dick rider, you're a meat eater. What can you, like what Jason Tatum said? What they gonna say now? What they gonna say now? Same thing. Jason Tatum won a championship. What they gonna say now?
Exactly. They can't take that away from him. You can't take
And
that
they
away from
can't take
history.
away the fact he threw for 350 plus yards. No other quarterback in the rookie draft class has thrown for that much. And you had a guy everyone was sitting in here saying he was better than him. That shit bothers me that y'all hated on this man because it was just cool for ESPN and everybody else to do it. I don't care what they think. You know, and one day I hope to be on there. I do. I hope and pray. One day I hope to pray. But I just want to know where Dan Orlovsky and Rex Ryan were. Genuinely. I want to know. What were you possibly doing that you had to miss work? I know Nero didn't. I know I didn't. I know Tyler was studying for them finals. He was putting in that work. Why couldn't you show up to your job?
And you know what's even worse? You want to know what's even worse, Amari? You got Rex Ryan, who coached his father in Baltimore, and you want to talk shit about this guy's son? Nasty work. Nasty work.
That's
nasty.
Nasty work.
That's fucking good.
Full circle moment.
First circle moment. Nasty work. Nasty. I tell you, man. You can put a smile in front of your face when Dion gets around, but just know that man remembers everything. Bucky Sanders remembers everything too. His son, his right hand man. It's all right though. It's all right.
So
everybody want to say what they got to say right now. Hey, all I know is when Shedeur finally starts showing who he really is, there's going to be a whole lot of crickets. Everybody just think this is it right now. It ain't. He's only scratching the surface. That's it. Oh yeah.
Yep. Tyler, I know, Tyler. You are also a big supporter too, but you know, from you on your end, and having Caleb Williams, and to be honest, Caleb Williams got a lot of shit last year.
Oh yeah.
And in the offseason. So you as a Bears fan, like going from that situation and seeing this situation, like how do you feel about Shedeur or Cam Ward, and like can they go and take another leap like, Bo Nix or Caleb Williams, who have gotten a lot of hate?
Oh yeah. Well, I think they both can. You're asking me, can they take another leap like in skill level?
Yeah, just in terms of skill level,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Caleb did this year, second year.
100%. I like you said earlier, I think this is one of those games where in 10 years from now we're going to revisit this as like the first battle between Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders, like the first battle of many. I think these two teams, they found their guys for the future, both of them. And then I've never had said anything bad about Shedeur Sanders. The off the field stuff that people complain about, I think was kind of stupid. And then the same thing with, like you said, with Caleb Williams last year about like he paints his nails. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? So
right.
All you got to do is just block out the noise, go out there and ball. But like you said, when you go out there and ball, they're not going to have nothing to say then. So.
Yep. What they going to say now?
They got nothing to say. They're going to miss work.
But, I think great situation for them both. Good game. Awesome. I'm glad they put this on the schedule. They probably didn't even know how this was going to be the case, considering the picks and stuff. But, they knew that at least 2 quarterbacks are probably going to these 2 situations, and good job on the NFL for doing that. But to close out the last game, fuck, bro. Like, oh my. What I don't at this point, like I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, honestly, it's that bad. Chad.
I know what to say. I know what to say. I got you. I got you right now. I know exactly what to say, my nigga. I know exactly what to say. All right. Travis Kelce. Nigga, just put the cleats down. Just put them away. Put them away. Put them away. Start your life with Taylor. Start it. That's it. No, nigga, sit the fuck down. Don't let the nigga get up. What the fuck? My nigga, how you gonna drop? You're gonna drop an open pass, right? All right. Then the next play they go back to you, and you're gonna bobble the ball, right? I thought you had hands, nigga. I thought you had hands, because you know who would have caught that? Mr. Rob Gronkowski would have caught that shit, nigga. Over here, we talking about Travis Kelce's better than Rob Gronkowski. Nigga, Rob Gronkowski was all fucked up, and he's still catching passes, nigga. What does that got to say for you? Wide open, and you can't catch a ball on to win a game? Come on, bro. And then, Rashid Rice, do we have to have a civilian stand right in front of you in order for you to catch the pass? Do we need you in a car in order for you to catch the pass? My nigga, why are you dropping open passes when nobody's around you? On 4th down. I'm not in the playoffs because of fantasy, because of niggas like you.
Damn.
What the fuck? Like, bro.
Yo.
Like, all right, bro. Let me tell you, Rashid Rice. You sat for 6 games. You did everything well. But then when the time matters, you don't know how to catch the ball. My nigga, if I guarantee you, if somebody puts a lamb right in front of your face, you know how to get in that car, right? But you don't know how to catch the ball? Come on, man. You made Mahomes look bad. You made Mahomes look like Ryan Leaf out there, and he wasn't, and Mahomes was fighting for his life, and these niggas can't even catch passes. Man, get him the fuck out of here. I gotta take a walk. Continue. Niggas make me miss the playoffs because you can't help your quarterback. Come on, man. This is why Kansas City. You know what? That trip to Cancun in the summer. In the off season. Please get your head together. No bullshit. Right now, you guys are looking like who should I say? You guys are looking like the 0-17 Cleveland Browns right now. Respect. That was so bullshit. That was so fucking bullshit. You had ample opportunities to win that game for yourself to try to stay in it, but you want to let your quarterback down and not catching passes. Niggas fighting for his life, throwing picks, and when he tries to throw you the ball, niggas can't catch the ball. You're bobbling and getting picked. Come on, bro. Travis Kelce, get him the fuck out of here. Rashid Rice, please, 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 please look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, let me start catching these balls so I can get a new car in the offseason. Maybe if you think about that, you might be safe. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got these niggas. Come on, bro. I gotta go take a walk. I'm tight.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
I'm in tears, bro. I've been laughing the whole time, bro. I can't even fight back.
I'm gonna turn the camera off for like 2 minutes because I have to take a walk after that. Kansas City, you're sorry as shit, and I feel bad for my nigga Amari. My nigga Amari gotta watch you sorry ass niggas every fucking week, and you niggas fail to impress me. I gotta take the walk. I'm saying too much. Continue, Amari. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm over here crying. Yo, oh shit. Oh man, bro.
Actually, I saw a video of like the big hit on Rishi Rice. I'm trying to find the tweet back. I'm just scrolling through my likes on Twitter.
I love my team. I've stuck with my team since I was a child. I've stuck with my team forever. The Pats used to whoop our ass every year. Tom Brady whooped our ass twice. At this point, okay. You know, I love this team so much, and I always have, and I've been through the worst. And I think that growing up through the worst has gone to show me how grateful I need to be. Because this year is showing me how grateful I need to be for the past 5 years that we've had. I'm just grateful I got to see 3 rings. I'm just grateful I got to see Patrick Mahomes ball out. I'm just grateful I have a quarterback who's now considered arguably the top 3, one of the top 4, maybe probably greatest ever. If you want to put Peyton Manning ahead, that's cool. That's fine. I can't even hate you because his regular season stats just stack up against Mahomes times 10 right now at this moment. So I'm just grateful because this year it's horrible that I have to sit here and watch the Patriots be at the top of the goddamn conference again, bro, again. And we only got to have 5 years. Like, why couldn't we have 20? Do we need to go to Israel? I don't know. Robert Kraft and they went to Israel. Like, does Andy Reid and Brett Veach need to go to Israel? Like, let's start talking to Mr. BB the Bomber over there. Like, I don't know how this situation is going to get fixed. It is that bad. And we just paid the guys that are probably the most underwhelming in this past offseason to then continue for the future to be the core. And I'm just upset. That shit had me dead. He told no lies. There's nothing I could do. I can't even fight back. There's nothing I could do. And if I do, the Patriots are 11-2. We got the MVP. Like, that used to be me for real.
I am just gonna show something. Just read the caption of this shit.
I can't even. I'm blind, Ben. I need glasses, bro.
Let's see. Rasheed Rice finally understand what it feels like to get unexpectedly hit at a high rate speed and have the man. Exactly. Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
nigga. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yo.
One of the best tweets ever, bro.
I can't do it no more, man. I'm sorry. Like, I just can't do it anymore in terms of like having hope for the rest of the season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, listen, shout out to my Chiefs group chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they all hated admitting I was right. I know they hated that shit, but I've been saying this since before the season started. This is not our year. Let the Broncos have the division. Let the Patriots make the playoffs and do what they got to do. I said all these things. And I even said, and I might be completely wrong on this one take. I specifically said, we might make the AFC Championship game at the least. And I was wrong about that. Like, tremendously fucking wrong at this point. And I know we have a chance to win out and we can go 10-7. That's cool. I know they hated it. I know they're saying, like, this nigga Amari was right. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I just knew. And all the teams around us got better enough to a point. When I saw the Broncos and the moves they made for the defense, I knew it was wraps. I knew it was over. They did that to stop us. No offense, Nero. No offense, Ben. They didn't do that shit to stop you.
No, right.
No.
I'm just keeping it a buck. They did that to stop us. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. And then they got a new coach. And Sean Payton has been balling out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just in this position where I know that this group chat, they hate the fact that now they have to watch this. They hate it. They hate it. I know they hate it. I hate it. I didn't like being right. I was praying all season I was wrong. That's the one time I prayed during this football media shit or this sports media shit where I will pray where I'm wrong. It might be about my own team. I said it about the Bruins. No one expected us to be second in the Atlantic. I said this about the Celtics. Nobody expected us to be as good as we are right now. We are third in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I was praying. Proven wrong. I was praying. And somehow, some way, like I said, in all these situations, this team, Karlaftis, Jones, everybody else, it's going to be a tough situation for us to come back from paying these guys who are older. and not even putting us in a position to win week in, week out. And I love my team, but I'm a realist. I'm a realist, man. And the worst part about this whole situation is Patrick Mahomes is doing everything he possibly can. He's doing everything he possibly can, and he's getting the most shit for it.
Right.
And I can't defend this wide receiver core. The one thing that I will say, the one of the one things that my Chiefs group chat and being in there with them that they were right about, this wide receiver core is not it right now. They're dropping passes. Rashee Rice's head's not in the game. Travis Kelce is clearly aging. Xavier Worthy has been dealing with a shoulder injury all season. That's the one thing I'll say I was right about in the group chat about was Worthy's injury was going to be a nagging thing all year. I don't think he's 100% healthy. You have to play on your shoulders every single fucking play. You have to use your shoulders as a wide receiver every single fucking play. And I know for a fact he's not 100% healthy. And he just doesn't look the same. He looks lethargic. He's not going downfield as much as he used to. They're not attacking him downfield. He's getting crossers, drags, ins, digs, and fucking zigs and outs as much as possible to keep away from that shoulder. And this Texans defense just exposed us by a mile. This is, I think, our lowest scoring game of the season. And I'm genuinely concerned about the future after the money we just spent. I'm. This might be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This dynasty might be
yeah.
this dynasty might be it.
Mm-hmm.
It genuinely might. It might be a situation where, and you know what I'm praying for? The situation that the Pats had, where Matt Castle came in for one season and they missed the playoffs, and next year everything was back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We didn't even set our money up right to do that. Brian Cook has to go. Jalen Watson has to go. And there needs to be some sort of conversation on whether this team, if we lose next week or if we keep losing, you know what? At this point, after losing to the Texans, we may as well just tank. We may as well just tank. May as well. We may as well just tank. The Jaguars are playing great. The only saving grace we have is the fact that the AFC North is absolutely fucking buns. And the fact that the Colts just lost Daniel Jones and have a quarterback carousel. That is our saving grace right now. And even then, Shane Steichen might coach them to wins for the rest of the season, but we have to pray that the Jaguars just do whatever they got to do, and the Texans don't do shit after this. It's a lot of praying, and it's a lot of hoping. But the Jaguars and the Texans have been playing so good the last 4 to 5 weeks. We're in panic mode, bro. Now we're in panic mode. As a fan base, we're in panic mode. At least I say I'm in panic mode. A lot of the group chat, they have the utmost faith. They do. I respect them for it. I do. I'm in panic mode, bro. I really am panicking. And, I don't like to admit that stuff because it's my own team, but this is just the truth and the reality of where we are. And this dynasty could very well be over. It could very well be over. Just the way we set ourselves up. And Andy Reid is 67 years old. He does not have much time as a coach left to have it in him to do that. Bill Belichick went all the way up until he was 70, but how many of those years up until then did it take for him to leave the NFL? It took him almost damn near 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that for us. I don't. Matt Nagy has to go. Kelsey, retire. And if you're not going to retire this year, do it after next year. Rashee Rice and Worthy, get your asses right in the offseason because I'm not dealing with these drops anymore, and I'm not dealing with this bullshit. If you have to, trade for Shador Sanders or some shit. I don't fucking know. Do something. Because I can't trust, I think our backup is like Gardner Minshew.
It is.
He's going to age another year. No, thank you. Get his ass out the door. somebody else. I don't know. Some other backup. I don't know. But this
Kyler Murray.
defense is not it. Kyler Murray wouldn't be a backup on this team. He'd fight to start. That's the problem. And listen, I get it. It's fun to laugh with us now. But Kyler Murray's not the fix to this fucking situation.
Yeah, I know it's a joke.
If Patrick Mahomes can't even fix this situation. And Patrick Mahomes has played excellent all season, bro. He has. He's top 7 in a lot of stats with one of the worst records out of all the top 7 quarterbacks. That should tell you it's not about a question of him. It's a question of this defense. And I just that shit got me so hot I gotta pee now. That shit got me having to admit all that got me out of a pee. But you give you guys last thoughts about the Texans and the Chiefs here.
Well, I will say final thought from me is I will say real quick. Yeah, off year by the Chiefs again. Patrick Mahomes can only do so much, but his receivers are letting him down. They really are. And Travis Kelce, obviously, he's not the same player that he once was. Rashee Rice, has had a difficult, last. This game, the one against the Cowboys, he did well, but this game right here, it just showed, it was tough on him. Everybody played a bad game. It's not all on Mahomes in terms of them losing the game. Collectively, everybody lost the game. It's a team sport. But I tell you, man, once it gets to the offseason, they're gonna figure out some stuff. But I tell you, man, they gotta. If I were the Chiefs, they're gonna trade. The Chiefs are gonna do something crazy in the offseason to continue to be the Chiefs. They will. If they got to trade for somebody, if the Patriots can't land Justin Jefferson, if I were the Chiefs, I'd try to do something in the offseason to get him because that would change everything for Patrick Mahomes. Truthfully,
Seriously, I'd give up our whatever pick. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we don't have to give up Rice and Worthy, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
No, facts.
Connor?
I mean, yeah, just looking ahead to next season for Kansas City. I know you mentioned the wide receiver group, isn't it? Travis Kelce, like you said, is getting up there in age. I've never really been a big fan of the running back situation you guys have going on. So I think maybe you could explore that, the running back market, maybe, if you're looking for an upgrade over Pacheco. I know he's been dealing with injuries this year, though. And then, I don't know too much about how the offensive line is there. I appreciate you guys for giving us Joe Tooney, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know how good or bad that's been this year. But yeah, Josh Simmons. I don't know. I know he's been hurt a lot this year. So
yeah.
But a lot to clean up for sure.
Yeah, offensive line's a problem. Defense is a problem. Wide receiver really isn't the worst problem, but it's right now a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Gray, get the fuck out. I've seen this man drop wide open pass. Get the fuck out. I watched him drop a wide open touchdown pass. I could have tried to get the fuck out. Please, Noah Gray, go somewhere. Go somewhere. As long as it's not here, as my grandfather said, just to be funny, OWT out. Get out, bro. You go, please, because I can't do it no more, man. I can't. You're not a replacement for Travis Kelce, and I don't know what to do. Maybe we go get Darnell Washington or somebody else. I don't know. The problem is money is an issue right now. I'll be real. Money is a problem. But Ben, as a Ravens fan, is there any more salt to add to the wound here? I mean, you kind of can. I can't lie.
I can't talk shit because my division's so fucking ass.
You can.
I can.
I mean, what? We have the same record at this point, right?
I mean, that just shows how both of us have been this season.
Yeah, but yours is due to injury. Ours is due to ass.
Oh, we're so been ass. We're so been ass.
But yeah, I mean, I guess as a Ravens fan, you know, in terms of situation similarities, like where do you see both teams going forward in? Do you see the Chiefs making offseason moves more than the Ravens, or the Ravens making offseason moves more than the Chiefs?
Chiefs more than the Ravens. I don't think, like I said, Ravens is more because of injuries. I think the Chiefs get desperate and makes moves.
And you think you guys still make the playoffs?
No.
Oh shit!
No, with the schedule, no.
Shit.
We have to win against the Bengals. We're probably winning against the Bengals. We're probably losing against the Steelers again. We're probably not. But you see, even if we split against, if we win against the Bengals and the Steelers, we lose against the Packers and the Pats, and we're out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I would rather.
But it depends on how the Steelers and everybody else does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like the Pittsburgh.
Because I know we went over this earlier, but
yeah,
I can pull up the AFC standings.
Pittsburgh has not in order. Pittsburgh has the Lions, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and us.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals, that was the Steelers. The Bengals have the Browns, Cards, Dolphins, and us. And we have Pats, Packers, Steelers, Bengals. Like,
but your saving grace might be the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Your saving grace might be the Texans and the Colts.
Yeah.
And even us. You might sneak in there.
We could sneak, but it's gonna be really tough because the division. Like I've said it, I don't know if I've said this on pod or whatever. This winner of this division could finish with a negative record.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, you did say that. Like a week or two ago, you did.
It could finish as a negative record, really. It's whoever it is, if it's the Ravens, the Steelers. I don't think it's gonna be the Bengals at this point.
Interesting.
But I just don't think this winner of the division is going to finish as a positive record.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do think I'm on the same plane as you are when it comes to that. I think the best situation possible is for those other teams to lose out and the Bengals to lose another game. If the Bengals lose another game, that's it.
Yeah,
that's literally it. Unless somehow, if we win, then if some miracle happens for the Bengals, there's no way they get in.
I mean,
and I don't even see that happening.
If the Ravens beat the Bengals this weekend, they're out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If
so we can literally emulate them for the
playoffs.
And we have one less team to worry about. We can literally do ourselves a favor.
Yep, exactly. And
put
you know the good thing for you too is, bro, don't forget the Colts have to play the Jaguars 2 times.
Yep.
That's big for you guys too. If you guys can win out,
once. By the way, once.
Well, no, I swear. What? Really? Hold on.
Well, that's why I have.
I thought the Jaguars played them twice.
I think
they just played them on Sunday.
They just played them
Sunday. Okay. So I'm sorry. Okay, my fault. They just played them. So once. You're right. Once. They already played them and lost, right? Now you just need the Jaguars to beat them again. And then mind you, they have the Seahawks,
which is highly possible at this point.
And then they have the Niners coming up next. And then they have the Texans. So at this point,
and the Jags have the Jets, the Broncos, Colts, and the Titans.
I can't lie. I'm not taking the Colts in any of those weeks for predictions. And if anybody is interested, we just want to show you these real quick. I was going to show you Shedeur Sanders' film, but I completely forgot to do so, guys. I'm sorry. We'll do that another time. But if you guys are interested, we do predictions every single week. Right now, it's actually pretty fucking interesting. If you guys don't know yet, if you guys don't remember or didn't watch this your first time watching, right now, this is where our record stands. Ben, yours might not be updated.
Yeah, I'm doing that literally right now.
So, just to give you guys a look here, let me see if I can share the note screen here for you guys. It's been interesting. You know, I wish we got Tyler on earlier because Tyler would have been awesome if we got Tyler on earlier. Next year though, Tyler,
Yeah,
we'll
for
get you
sure.
in there from week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Can I There we go. Week by week game prediction table. If you guys can see here. You know, I'm seeing a good me and Nero been neck and neck every week, bro.
Me and Nero are literally tied.
And
I
now
went 8 and
Ben's
6.
caught up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out Connor, who's also caught up a little bit himself. But me and Nero have been trading, like, I swear, the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've been going like game for game. Like there's always been one game that separates the difference.
No,
And then
fact.
we all predicted that tie, which was insane.
No, we did not.
We didn't predict the tie, but we
No,
all
we did.
predicted that game for it to be, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Packers Cowboys, and we all predicted the Packers to win that game.
Yeah.
And it ended up in a tie.
Mhm.
So that's the only saving grace that everyone else has. Connor's got a little bit of ways to go. Shout out to Connor. He's not here with us. I don't know what he's been doing lately, to be honest with you. I got to talk to him about that. He hasn't been on lately, but right now this is where we're at. We're sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? Don't steal my lyrics, guys. No, I'm just fucking with you. Just fucking with you guys. But no, yeah. So, you know, me and Nero have been neck and neck. Ben's now in the mix with us. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys want to pull up, you guys want to, mix it up with us in Discord. We like to do this every week. This is our week by week prediction table. And if you guys want to see just this last week, what we had for our predictions, Nero had the Cowboys winning, Seahawks, Ravens, Browns, Colts, Commanders, Dolphins, Bucks, Bengals, Broncos, Packers, Rams, Texans, Chargers. I redeemed myself a little bit. I had to catch up. Cowboys, Browns, Bengals, and my dumbass. Why did I pick the Cowboys? My stupid ass. Like, I should have just picked the line. I knew I should have just went with the Lions. And the stats checked out and everything, too. That's what makes me more mad about myself. I'm the type of nigga to be like, oh, yeah, you just go for the upset. The upset, like, no. Like, I got to start trusting my gut here.
What you know? What's funny? We all went for the Cowboys.
I know, and it was because we were in Discord or whatever, the last episode or whatever it was, and I was like telling you guys, I'm like, oh, I think because Lions been banged up in the secondary, George Pickens about to eat. Yeah, that didn't work. And then he's the nigga that sold me on my parlay, even fucking worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like yeah, I should have just went with my gut on that one. Vegas called in. The Browns, which I don't regret that one. That game could have gone either way. The Bengals, I had too much faith in Joe Burrow, and then he ended up throwing 2 picks. Jaguars, Vikings, Dolphins, Buccaneers, which no one saw the Buccaneers losing that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I didn't think, like I said, Tyler Shook, I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game, brother. Seahawks, Steelers, Broncos, Bears, I don't regret that. Rams, Texans, Chargers. Ben, Cowboys, Seahawks, Ravens, Browns, Jags, Commanders. Why
I don't
did
know
you
why
have
we're in the Commanders. By the way, that was so fucking stupid.
Nigga was drunk. Bucks,
Yeah,
Bengals,
probably.
Broncos, Packers, Rams, Texans, Chargers. And CP, Cowboys, Browns. I don't know why it's highlighted like that. I'm sorry that it's so light. Cowboys, Browns, Seahawks, Jags, Commanders, Bengals, Bucks, Ravens, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Packers, Texans, Chargers. So when he gets back in here, he'll be. Oh shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 losses. So
He
does
went
that mean
8 and 6. It says at the bottom.
8 and 6? Oh yeah, so he's far. Oh no, he already did his then.
I think he already updated. I
Yeah, he already updated. Yeah,
he
already
already did his
updated.
then.
Wait,
You know,
oh,
he's-
oh yeah, he is. He did it this morning.
He's got to pray us 3 have a bad week. For those obviously that are watching now, there obviously we already talked about this, but there will be a prize for this shit. I got it'll be merchandise probably from us. Some early merch. You guys, I want to show you some shit, but like I'm not actually. You know what? Why not? Why not? Why not?
Let's give him a little tease. Why not?
Give him a little tease. Why not? So guys, we have an application coming out. We have an app which also is going to be turned into a website. Now, if you guys are interested in downloading an app every single week to come and look at, we'll have updated stuff. Tyler, he works with Bears, like his Bears Wires is his thing, or Bears Wire, I should say. If you want to go follow on Instagram, follow at bears.wire or follow at no sleep Tyler. Go follow him. Follow what the hell's happening in sports. He'll have his own blog at WTHHS617 on Instagram. Follow WTHHS on YouTube. Subscribe. Do what you got to do.
Yes,
And you already know, if you guys like hockey, Ben will have a hockey section. He will also have a Raven section on the app. It'll be updated every week, probably eventually to a point daily. Once we get a little bit more acclimated with the merchandise and stuff. But I will show you guys just to share real quick. Now, I know, we haven't really talked about this whatsoever, but this is our app. We will have the app coming out for you guys soon. There'll be a homepage. You got all these up. These are the sports we have the most, that we talk about the most, for the most part. I might replace tennis with something else just because I'm the only one that watches tennis for the most part now. Besides probably Ben, really.
Which
for
I
the
don't
most
really
part.
watch that much.
Yeah, which like he doesn't even, but we got the upcoming games for you guys. We're programming it. They'll have some latest news, live coverage. You guys see all this at the bottom. There's everything else, the features, the live scores, the news, the highlights, the merchandise. When you go and you click one of these, it goes straight to our YouTube and it goes straight to our Discord. It actually won't let me show you the command for that because I'm only sharing this window. So I apologize. It won't let me show you the command, but when this comes out, you guys want to watch some games for free. You guys want to do whatever, you guys can click join Discord. You can go in the app and just hit join Discord. You can just watch us on YouTube through the app. But there's a my team section for you guys. Obviously I have the Chiefs. This is like my test run for myself right here. I have the Chiefs, so these are the upcoming games. Actually it didn't even program the rest of it for a lot of them. I don't know why, but it says we have 5. Those even aren't the right ones, if I'm not even fucking
No,
mistaken.
it's not the right ones at all.
So I gotta, program that for you guys. But yeah, when you do that, you'll be able to see the rest of. Oh, maybe it is.
Wait, go back?
Maybe it is. Titans, Broncos, Raiders. Yeah, maybe it is.
Raiders?
No, Steelers. That one's wrong.
Yeah, that one should be the Chargers.
Yeah, that should be the Chargers. But yeah, we have the
We
NFL
got that
board
fixed.
here. Yeah, we'll get that fixed for you guys. Don't worry. It's a long process. Trust me, guys. This is not easy at all. We got obviously you click on each one. We'll go to the Patriots. See the rest of the games. Dolphins. Well, I don't. There's no way. Do the Pats really play the Chargers? There's no way.
No.
I don't know why they fucked that up. Yeah, there's no way.
Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna obviously have to fix that. But as you guys can see, like this is for the most part, I don't know why it says Cardinals. Maybe it's from last year's schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think they probably inputted the wrong
Yeah.
schedule link for me, even though I put the right schedule link in there. But once we get all that stuff updated, that's the reason why we haven't launched yet. You know what I mean? We just need to fix a couple bugs, for programming. But you have all the teams here. They're all in this drop-down menu. There will be NBA. There will be NHL. We'll probably stop there as far as the sports. If we got a couple soccer guys, so we might add a soccer tab.
Baseball as well. You can put
Yeah,
it on
well,
there.
baseball. That's actually that one's probably gonna come before NBA. Not gonna lie, because we got a lot of baseball guys in our group. So baseball will probably come before NBA when I structure this. But like I said, we got a home page. There will be a blog page for the news, right? I'm gonna have in this section here. You guys are gonna be able to. There will be like over here in this area. You'll be able to pick like Ben Academy, WTHHS Academy, Amari Academy, Smoked B Center Academy. There is going to be blogs on there for you guys designated for certain sports like Narrows All Boston. Me, I'm a Chiefs fan, so mine's going to be a little different. And I'm into tennis and other sports like lacrosse, NCAA, PLL. So mine's going to be a lot different from everybody else's because it's just so many a culmination of sports on my end. But Tyler, hopefully we can get a Bears wire in here. That would be awesome. A little Bears wire for the the Bears part. But yeah, guys, we're building that for you guys. It's coming soon. Don't worry. Obviously you can click on it. Football. It brings up soccer, and I hate that because it's football, so it doesn't calculate NFL for that. I've been trying to figure out a coding aspect for that. So, but basketball, yeah, that's obviously false. The Warriors don't dominate shit right now. Tennis, nothing there. Baseball, hockey, but it's coming soon. We're trying to aim for it before Christmas. I got some programming to do tonight, so there will be advancements. But with that being said, guys, that's the closing. Shout out to Mr. at Bears.wire, Tyler, coming through. Shout out to Ben, as per usual, show producer, Discord director, and you have Mr. the one and only. What the hell is happening in sports? Mr. Nero.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to you guys for another amazing episode. You guys want to catch us on YouTube? Catch us on YouTube. You guys are going to catch Nero on YouTube. Make sure you go follow WTHHS, which is What the Hell is Happening in Sports. If you love the BC Eagles, you love the Patriots, you love the Red Sox, you love the Celtics, you love anything Boston, go make sure you tap in. And like I said before, we have Tyler. He has at Bears.wire on Instagram. Make sure you go follow. Hopefully, you guys will see me in the future on there. I love the Bears. I love Caleb Williams. I love Ben Johnson. I love what they're doing over there. So I love to come and support the Bears whenever I can. You guys can see me on there. You guys can see me on WTHHS. And Ben, this week, we will be back with Spoked B Center, that's just our common name. But there will be some hockey this week. We're going to talk about the Bruins. We're going to talk about the Canadians. And since the last time we talked, we're going to see how both teams are doing, which not really so hot for both, to be quite honest. To be quite honest with you, the Bruins a little bit more
than the Canadians.
Yeah, Bruins more than Canadians, which shout out to us. Which did we win tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Can't wait to watch those game highlights. But also, this upcoming week, we have baseball too, man. Last week was holidays and stuff and all that other stuff. And, some of us were busy. I own an event company now. So Fridays for me are tough. Saturdays for me are tough. I normally had those nights open before I started the new event company. So I'm going to try and fit in, tomorrow is Wednesday. We're going to try and do some hockey for you guys. Then Thursday, we're going to do some baseball. We're going to talk about the Red Sox. Red Sox upcoming off-season moves. You guys want to come tune in for some baseball stuff, please do. Chicago White Sox have also been a little bit active. Tyler, if you want to come talk about the Chicago White Sox, come talk with us on Bicoastal Baseball Podcast. Nero, Red Sox fan, just like myself, diehard Red Sox fan. We got a lot to talk about what the moves should be, and definitely want to get Nero's opinion on where they should go. And Ben is a Blue Jays fan, guys. Toronto Blue Jays fan, just made it to the World Series last year. Bo Bichette has not yet signed a contract with you guys, right?
Not yet, and he is more likely to resign with Toronto than to sign with the Red Sox. He's not on the Red Sox.
We don't need him.
He's not on the Red Sox table right now.
We have Trevor Story. We're not concerned about that.
And probably was second base.
Trust me. Keep him over there. We would like to see
I'll gladly take him back. Gladly.
Yeah, keep him over there. We would like to see you in the playoffs after we sign Bregman and get Schwarber and get Alonso.
Don't worry. Whoa. Schwarber's the Phillies.
He re-signed?
Yeah. Today.
Oh, what the fuck, man? Yo, Craig Breslow, I got a bone to pick with you Thursday, you bitch ass nigga.
5 years, 150.
Oh, we weren't offering him that. Never mind.
Yeah,
we not gonna lie, we weren't offering him that. But that leaves us hope for Pete Alonso. That leaves us money for
which
Pete
is
Alonso.
the likely one of the. Which was the likely one.
Yeah, let's trade Cassis and get him the fuck out of here so we can sign Bregman. But yeah, with that being said, guys, we got a lot coming in store for you guys. Like I said, there will be a What the Hell is Happening in Sports section on the Bay State Media app. We want to make sure you guys can go in there. You guys can go click whenever Nero goes live. You guys can go in the app, go in there. If you subscribe to YouTube, you don't have to download the app. Just subscribe to the YouTube, man. The app Bears.wire, just subscribe. They're on Spotify. They got their first episode out. Congratulations, actually, by the way, for you guys for that. That's fucking awesome.
Appreciate it. Episode 2 is coming out tomorrow.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
You already know we're going to tune in. I tuned into episode 1. You guys did an amazing job. I loved it. You guys have a great format. Keep pushing, bro. Keep going. You know, this stuff is designated for everybody, man. So, you know, the end all be all never stops at your own or whatever. This is multiple collabs in the making. So, with anybody watching, thank you guys for tuning in. I know the Chiefs suck. We suck. I know. I'm sorry. But, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you tomorrow for Spoke to Be Center.
Sure.
Sure.
What the?
Hey, a lot of work put into this moment. A lot of work. Remember one thing today. You're not alone. You got 10 dudes around you that are going to lay it on the line for you. Do the same for them. Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Driving out of state, I'm crossing interstates. You know that I don't play. I'ma take you on a date. Yeah, I'm the 40 guys.
Ready to go.
I know this from the heart, cause you know that I'm a star. And it's all came from the heart. You were here when it was hard. I told the world.
Hey, gotta love this, man. Get to go out there, play some football, man. Have some fun, play for each other. Or toes for the man next to you.
Hey, 60 minutes, play for one another.
Hey, man, this is a hell of an opportunity. What you willing to lay on the line? Ask yourself that.
Finish, grind, take a deep breath, and have some fun. Okay?